is so hot. I know everybody calls you father, but can I call you daddy? Hello, and welcome to my part 2 of Act 2.5 of To Eat a God. And this is a biblical horror Yandere dating sim in which you have been sent by the creator as a puppet to observe what's happening in the garden. Timeline, we are entangled with the unhinged god Unum, and we actually have 2 children together, although things aren't working quite as well as it seems. And in the other timeline, we have found ourselves with Septem, who has finally gained a real body and has taken you as his companion. Let's hope nothing goes wrong. Let's get started. So like what we did with Nullas, we are going to start a little bit further back just so we get a little bit of context from the last act as well. But if you didn't see Unum's Act 2 route, that is also linked in the description box below. Okay. I'm also not going to tell him to let me go, just like last time. Oh my god. Without warning, he takes your hand to his mouth and licks it. Your heart is racing, but you're not sure if it's from fear or something else. Something else. His face draws dangerously close to yours, but you also make me want to devour you. Remember that time you cut yourself peeling the fruit with a knife? It was terrible. If I didn't like you so much, I probably would have gutted you right then. What kind of comment is that? And why does he say it like it's a compliment? But don't worry, I'll take care of you. Without further explanation than a smile, Unum presses a kiss to your lips. Aww. Days pass and you find it hard to believe how quickly the children grow. You've gotten used to calling them the children instead of their original names. Now that they can walk, you spend most of your days in the garden with them, since it's still too dangerous to be indoors with them for long periods of time. The energy they release is very unstable and dangerous for a body like yours. They're adorable. They are so cute. It's adorable to see them playing and interacting with each other or with the girls. Yet there's something that's been worrying you for a while. Something that neither Unum nor the girls have shown any interest in explaining or discussing. So you assume it's normal. But it still worries you. And the more they grow, the more they tend to stick together. Their tails entwined. They can spend entire days clinging to each other's tails. Ask Unum. You tell the children you're going inside for a second, and that you'll be right back. You search for Unum in the temple hallways, and find him in the kitchen with Solaris, who is advising on him on how to improve his latest meal. Out of curiosity, you pause to listen to this part of the conversation. You need to improve your singing, my son. If you sing off-key, it might even affect the taste. Her voice wavers between laughter and tenderness, yet she can't help but let out a small chuckle at her end. Are you telling me I sing badly? Maybe. And that's all it takes for Solaris to burst out with the big laugh she's been holding back. Yinny, do you think I do the chants badly? You jump a little. You can't believe how Unum detected you. It's not that you do them badly, it's just that you're off key. Answer against Unum and ask about the children. Yes. Unum lets out a groan defeated while Solaris laughs even harder. And I ask something. It's about the children. That alone is enough to get both of their attention back on you. And you don't need a verbal response as they simply look at you waiting for your question. Is it normal for them to have their tails intertwined all the time? It's something binary stars do. Solaris knows more about it. We don't have tails, but according to what Due told us when we accompanied her to the birth of binary stars, the union of both tails is their way of maintaining their gravitational balance. So it also works as a method of communication between the 2 stars. Yes, exactly. Don't worry, it's normal. You spend the rest of the day resting with the girls while Unum takes care of the children. You're no longer afraid to leave them with him, and Unum has proven to be a very good caretaker. Incredibly, against all odds. Sunday arrives once again and Septem appears once more. You don't like that you can't be present during the children's growth checkup, but Unum can, so you don't worry more than necessary, deciding to wait outside the room. About 30 minutes pass and they still haven't come out. It's nothing to worry about. After an hour passes, the girls arrive to keep you company. They say nothing, which makes you start to break into a cold sweat. Where are they? And why do they look so tense? What if they don't pass the checkup? Be quiet, don't even think about it. I'm sorry. What will happen if they don't pass the checkup? You're about to panic and scream to ask what they mean when the door to the room opens. 2 children come out and run towards you laughing as they're celebrating something you don't know about. Septem walks out with both arms behind his back, with Unum following behind him. They have their names now. All present, Unum, Alnatak, Mintaka, and Alnilum must refer to them by these new names from now on. It is strictly forbidden to call them by their original name. An inexplicable pressure runs through your body. From the tension on Unum's face, you know you're not the only one who felt it. Serious. You may introduce yourselves. My name is Noor, and I'm called Shams. Pleased. Septem bids farewell in a monotone and distant voice. Though his movements and expression maintain the elegant characteristic of his being. Why is he the only one allowed to refer to them by their imposed names? And Unum isn't allowed to. You feel the reason behind such an order. But for now, you can do nothing. Can we go to the garden to play? Your attention shifts to the children, who look at you pleadingly, their tails intertwined. You must eat first. The response to you is a chorus of childish tantrums. but they accept realizing they won't gain anything from it. Life here is not so bad. Septem's words don't leave you alone. In every silence, in every pause, his voice echoes and lingers in your mind, reminding you that there's something deeper and far more troubling than just playing house with Unum and his wives. It couldn't be all so perfect. Septem must be pulling the strings of the sun symbol. You suppose you could ask what this is really all about? Sit down with Unum one day and have a serious talk about why he wanted descendants in the first place. But you're afraid of being disappointed by his answer, afraid that Unum might be acting, that the fatherly image you have of him will shatter. But what hurts more is the thought that the children might just be pawns for some plans you don't understand. It hurts a little more than you're willing to admit. I'm impressed. Ignis's voice pulls you out of your dark thoughts. She sits beside you, glass in hand, gazing towards the garden, watching every movement of the children ready to intervene if needed. Shams and Noor are play fighting. At first you're worried about them getting hurt, but soon you realize they come out completely unscathed after every match. Stars that change and grow over time. I never would have imagined it. She turns her head towards you. It's a pity you can't see her expression. The mask she wears hides her face entirely. They've grown 3 more centimeters today. And Shams has gained more body mass. Her voice is warm, almost tender. It carries the tone of someone who's proud of her children. Aren't there any children in the garden? Offspring like yours? Offspring of the subjects? No. They're counterproductive to the maintenance of each domain, a distraction from our duties. The only subjects allowed to have offspring were those of Lady Sexton. Ignis tightens her grip on the glass. For a moment you think it might shatter. I must take my leave. It's time for you to return to Unum's residence. No. I can't stand your scent any longer. You know she doesn't mean it with disdain, but it still stings. Unum explained it to you before and you already half guessed it. Your flesh, your body, it's like a fine delicacy to them. Whether you're a human from another world or something crafted from the garden. Something they could eat but are forbidden to taste. Those resources are reserved exclusively for the symbols, the main source of energy for the higher ranks, and an untouchable delicacy for the servants of each domain. There's no point in dwelling on it. You might be a coveted dish for the garden's inhabitants, even for those who share a roof with you. Both Unum and his wives see you as potential food, but you can tell they're really trying. Wow, how nice. I can't believe they're trying so hard to not eat me. Yay. And they make the effort to not devour you whenever they see you or spend time with you. Ignis often avoids spending too much time with you because of this, and Unum never skips his Sunday placebos. Tomorrow he has his meeting at the hotel to receive his weekly serving. Tomorrow's Sunday, which means that before going to the hotel, Septem will come to check on the twins. Anxiety grips your chest at the mere thought of what might happen, what Septem will say, and what will happen to Noor and Shams afterwards. 2 small arms wrap around your neck, grounding you back to reality. Ignis is gone and now the children are on your back and lap instead. Ignis said you called to us. They're so cute. Look how small they are. Did something happen? Shams asked while dropping her full weight onto you, knocking the air from your lungs. Ignis is right. You'll have to teach her to control her strength. At least, when it comes to you. You need to get ready for tomorrow. I don't want to. It's so boring to talk with His Holiness Septem. I like it. Shams sticks her tongue out at Noor and mutters under her breath that she's just as boring as Septem. She runs off under Noor's dismayed gaze. He doesn't wait for you to react before chasing after Shams, frowning and seeking revenge. Both of them head towards Unum's residence. You take one last look at the wives' residence before following them. You feel curious about that place, just seeing it from the outside is no longer enough. There are days when you have to bite your tongue to keep from asking if you can go in, but you hold back. You may be curious, but you're not foolish enough to think that wouldn't be dangerous. Once back home, you learn that Unum has returned from his meeting with Septem. As always, he's brought back a pile of books. Lately, Unum and Septem's meetings have become more frequent, and they last longer each time. It bothers you a little, because on the days of those meetings you're left in charge of the children and they demand more than you can give. Yandere, did you know it's good to read stories to children while they're growing? But the moment Unum appears with that satisfied smile, all your irritation vanishes. He's so pretty. Unum stands beside you, book in hand, ready to show you its contents. From the cover you can tell it's a children's book, probably for ages 5 to 10. Human ages, of course. You can't read the title, but it's clearly an adventure or fantasy story. While he talks about everything he saw in Septem's library, you flip through the book's pages, more pictures than text. Ideal for kids with short attention spans, like Shams. You trust the illustrations will keep her interested. You close the book abruptly, making Unum fall silent at once. You let out a long tired sigh. I missed you. He stares at you perplexed. You've caught him so off guard that he doesn't even know how to respond. It's as if he's forgotten how to speak. His mouth open and closes, searching for the right words to give you. He clearly wasn't expecting that. Me too. I told Septem that having so many meetings is making me lose time with you and the children, but we need to talk and plan everything down to the last detail. Once this is over, we'll have all the time in the world. Your forearms are so big. I love the low collar so much. I promise. Unum clears his throat. Oh, his hands are so big. He takes a deep breath, and his words spill out like the air escaping a deflating balloon. Starting tomorrow, the children will have to attend their checkups with Septem separately. I don't think that's a good idea. Whatever it is Septem's after, I won't let him use the children. They're mine, not his. I don't trust Septem. He's doing everything he can to restore the garden. I don't care about that. I care about the children. I care about them too. Then prove it. I am. That's exactly what I'm doing. You want to tell him it doesn't look that way, but you stop when you see his face. He looks hurt, but you don't apologize. No matter how many times you question Unum about Septem's plans for the children, he always gives vague answers. Borderline absurd ones. He'll elevate their rank. They'll become divine, no longer mortal. We just have to wait for the right time, they're still too young. And you pressing him, Unum always finds an excuse to escape the conversation. But today, Unum seems to have reached his limit and agrees to ask Septem if he can attend the next checkup. I can't promise anything. Septem's the one who decides. You spend the rest of the day holed up in your room. You feel like you could explode at any small incident and you don't want that to happen in front of the children. It's better to stay put. At least until tomorrow. You could use the rest. Your body and hands are grateful for the decision. It angers you that Unum does nothing about the situation. And on the other hand, you can't help but notice how cautious the sun symbol has become in everything he does. He doesn't look as imposing as you once thought. Damn it. He's even stopped being impulsive altogether, and it's not due to fatherhood, it's due to Septem being a weenie. So hot though. And that's because of Septem's constant presence. Yeah. It's always, Septem said this. Septem has to know about that. If Septem grants us permission, then why don't you just marry Septem? You're sick of it. The worst part is that Unum always downplays it, or worse, treats your anger like something amusing or fascinating. What am I, a little animal in a zoo? As if you were a dog doing a little trick. Yeah, maybe that's what you are. Just a pet without a voice or saying anything that happens in this house. Adopted for a single purpose and waiting for the day the owner gets bored. This is so sad. You're not sure what's worse, going to him or staying here, overthinking everything and nothing at once. Before you can decide, your door is knocked on thrice. The illusion of privacy doesn't last 5 seconds, and seeing him walk in like he owns the place only rubs salt in the wound. The children are already asleep. He announces it cheerfully, completely unaware of all that's going on inside you. He moves through your space as if he owns every inch of it, paying little attention to you and his surroundings. Unum, you're being a bad husband. I demand to be loved, and I demand to be loved right now. Carnally, with feeling and enthusiasm. I spoke with Septem. If you hear the name Septem one more time, you swear you'll... He said it's fine for you to attend the children's checkup tomorrow, but he won't let me. He admits, pouting. The news should make you happy, but it doesn't. Not completely. Why do you do everything that Septem says? Unum clutches his stomach, shaking with a laugh so deep you fear something inside him or out might tear. You think I'm a bootlicker? He asks in disbelief. He said it. You didn't. Yeah, you were projecting. But he is, and the worst kind, the one who won't admit it. If Septem decreed that the sun shouldn't rise today, Unum would move heaven and earth to follow that order. Damn bootlicker. Here, a word is a command. Septem rules everything now that he has a body. All he has to do is speak your name and give an order. I'm bound to obey by law. He's gotten defensive, which at least means you struck his pride somehow. Really, Septem were intangible again. What'd you say? For a moment, Unum falls silent. He has no words to answer. You caught him off guard. There was a time where Septem had no body. At the very beginning. Without a mouth he couldn't command. And it was Nala who talked for him like a spokesman. We had more freedom back then. Until he showed up with a body. Septem says she lent it to him, but I don't believe it. Unum pauses for a long while, as if trying to remember what led him to talk about this. Then he exhales, pulling a funny grimace. So no, I'm not a bootlicker. He doesn't say it to convince you. He says it like he's trying to convince himself. The silence is heavy, and honestly, you don't know how to rescue the conversation. So you slip under the sheets, ready to end the day. Seeing this, he sits at the foot of the bed, staring at you. He seems torn between speaking and staying silent. Can I stay with you while you sleep? No. Oh, who am I kidding? Yes. Unum smiles and lies down beside you. I love that face of his. Sleep doesn't take long to come. You drift off instantly. I also don't take long to come. Unum, just letting you know. It's Sunday. Your body hasn't even had time to adjust to the new day when Shams bursts into your room, throwing herself onto your bed. Her knee lands squarely on your ribs as she yells impatiently. They're waiting for us! Between the confusion and her relentless tugging at your shirt, you can barely keep your eyes open while Shams blurts out half-baked explanations. Without giving you a chance to ask questions, she drags you out of bed, repeating non-stop that it's late, that you need to hurry, that Septem wants both of you there right now. Her imitation of Septem's voice is all it takes for you to understand completely. It's the weekly checkup day. You're already walking down the halls leading to the medical wing. Before you know it, Shams throws the door open without stopping to knock or announce herself. Oh, hi. You should knock before entering. Hello, my husband. Hello, Septem. You told Dad you were in a hurry. Her response is immediate, caring little, if at all, about what the blonde man might think or do about it. He, on the other hand, decides to ignore her, sitting upright in front of Unum. He barely glances at you, nor does he even make a gesture to greet you. It's Unum who does, standing up with a wide, tender smile that reveals his sharp white teeth. As he approaches, he plants a warm kiss on your cheek, murmuring a soft good morning. Oh, that's so cute. You really do play the husband role well. He barely has time to get the words out before Septem's glare silently orders him out of the room. Shams runs to the corner where the instruments rest. There's a scale, measuring tape, cot, and more. Oh, baby. She seems to know the routine already, sitting on the cot to wait. Meanwhile, Septem stands, notebook and pencil in hand, taking his place beside her to start recording data. He instructs her to raise her arms, stretch her legs, breathe deeply. Everything is done with mechanical, clinical precision. He writes down what's needed, offering no comment beyond what's strictly functional. Unum told me you wanted to take part in the checkups. It's the first time he's spoken to you since you walked in. You had assumed he'd ignore you until Sham's checkup was over, though in a way he still does. He's speaking without looking. Do you not trust me? No, I do not. Why should I? Because you don't have a choice. Hey! Shams, completely distracted from the conversation, plays with one of the stethoscopes. She loops it around her neck, twists it, stretches it, and bites it. Septem has to take it from her before she breaks it. Then he writes down a few more lines before turning his gaze back to you. Regardless of what you think, you have no choice but to do as you're told. If you wish to survive in this world, you need to trust me. Otherwise, your puppet won't take long to become obsolete. Today it's your hands. Tomorrow it'll be the whole arm. And after that the feet. And then the legs. You'll be reduced to a useless body, only good as meat for us. A placebo on the verge of expiration. And when that happens, you'll lose the only means you have to remain in this plane. Septem falls silent for a few seconds, watching Shams. And then he says a single word. Tail. He extends his hand, waiting for Shams to obey. She does so immediately, raising her tail and letting it rest in Septem's palm. You're about to step in. You know that the tails of stars like Shams are dangerous, unstable, harmful pure energy, capable of burning the flesh of any entity regardless of rank. Even Unum has been burnt before, but seeing that Septem doesn't react in pain, you stop and watch. Nothing happens. No burned skin, no pain reflected in Septem's eyes. He holds Sham's tail as if it were just another limb. He examines it calmly and takes note in his journal. How could he touch it like that, just like that? Could it be his hands? No, yours share a similar condition. And yet you clearly can't touch their tails without getting at least a few third-degree burns. Is something wrong? If you keep your mouth hanging open like that, you're gonna let a fly in. No, don't worry about it. I'm just here waiting for Unum. Close it. Didn't she hurt you? No, no one and nothing can hurt me. He says it offhandedly, as if it were the most trivial thing in the world. Nuh-uh, something can hurt you. It's called emotions. You wait for an explanation, but it never comes. And you're left with being more confused than before. The checkup ends and Shams leaves so Noor can enter. Noor's so small. Unlike Shams, Noor seems comfortable with Septem's meticulousness. Where she was restless, he simply observes and waits for the blonde to command. You'll have to eat less, he says after finishing the examination. What? No, Noor needs to eat more. Septem looks at you as if you lost your mind and you're speaking nonsense. Serious. You must eat less. Okay, if you had the strength and the power to yell or slap him, you would, but that would only bring you more trouble. You don't even get the right to argue or ask for explanations. Septem expels you both from the room with a single clap. You're instantly transported outside. Screw you, Septem, in more ways than one. The door is closed, and when you turn to go back in and confront the blonde, he's no longer there. He's gone. In a way, that's good. You're sick of him already. You don't want to see him in your home again. At least not for the next 7 days. You spend the rest of the day playing with and keeping the children company, hoping that by the time Unum returns from the hotel, he'll have a full belly and no desire to devour you. Let's explore a bit. Look at the paintings. You walk through the halls observing the paintings that adorn Unum's residence, and you realize they all follow a very specific pattern. They all depict human bodies in different positions and expressions. There's great care in the use of shadows. Contrast between light and darkness that's impossible to ignore. Some of them make you uneasy. They're grotesque enough to cause a subtle sense of discomfort. You'd rather not imagine what they look like at night. No thank you. Go with the children. You search for the children inside the residence, but only find traces that they were there. Another broken vase to add to the collection. One of the paintings scratched with what you hope is paint. You could go on and on like this until tomorrow. But as for them, you can't find them anywhere. You go outside hoping to find them in the courtyard. They aren't there either. You assume they must be in Unum's wife's residence. You're not sure if it would be wise to go there. Go to the residence, let's go. Where else can we go anyway? Also, what's this little thingy in the corner? What the heck? Ah, I see now. I see you want to talk more about this. I want to stay here with you. We could do it, but we have things to do. I can't waste your time like this. Maybe another time. Septem sighs. You have to go back, Yinny. What the heck? Let me talk to you again. Here you are again. Seems you enjoy playing with my gift. Take me to your route. I want to stay here. I like being with you. I want to stay here. Then so be it. We can stay here for a while. Minutes turn into hours. Septem occasionally talks to you about mundane things or what he'd like to do tomorrow. There are times when he's confessed that he would like to use his body to be here, truly with you, but he cannot. He says he must conserve his energy for when the garden begins to change. For when they have humans again, time passes and Septem, much to your dismay, leaves, says goodbye. He sounds hesitant, as if he doesn't want to leave, but there's little you can do to stop him. If I click on it again, will I get in trouble? I like being with you. Yeah? Well, the feeling's mutual, my dear little creator. It's a shame I can't do much here. Once I learn to control this better, we'll be able to have a moment alone, away from everything and everyone. But I have things to do. Come back another time. Bye, Septem. I'll do the take me to your route when I do Septem's route, because I still want to stick to Unum's at the moment. Still, as you get closer, each step draws a bead of sweat that slides down your neck. Finally, you stop before a large closed door. It's imposing, with carvings in the wood depicting allegories of the sun. When you lift your hand to touch it, something in your stomach twists. A knot rises to your throat, making it hard to think straight. Fear seeps into your body, tightening around your soft skin. You're a juicy body, nothing more than a piece of flesh waiting to be eaten. You're about to turn around when suddenly the door swings wide open. It's Solaris. She's smiling. For a second, that smile reminds you of Unum's because of the teeth. Bright and perfect and far too visible. Yinny! Solaris looks genuinely surprised. She stops smiling the moment she realizes who you are. The air around her shifts. You can see it clearly. Her body tenses and the smile she tries to recall doesn't really come out quite right. What comes out instead is an awkward grimace. Too many teeth, too little expression in her eyes. You can't come in here without permission. It's dangerous. Unum hasn't returned yet with... She cuts herself off. Her lips press into a thin line as she turns her gaze aside, as if waiting for something or someone to rescue her from having to keep talking. Noah, Shams, they've come looking for you. I told you to warn me before showing up here, you pair of pests. The children come out quickly. Their twin tails link together as they mumble empty apologies to the woman, laughing without a trace of shame in their bodies. If you do that again, I'll tell Ignis to ban you from coming here. She says it with a forced, stern tone, though she convinces no one. Then she looks at you, apologizes, and closes the door right in your face. You're left stunned. You don't really know what to think. You feel both pity and rejection. I mean, they just don't want to eat us. So it sucks, but I guess at least they're trying. But the children don't give you time to organize your thoughts, pulling at your sleeve towards Unum's residence. All the while telling you what they did at the House of the Stars of Orion's Belt. From the little you can catch and process, you gather that Noah learned to lower his intensity, whatever that means. They're so cute. Watching them compete for your praise is funny at first. But when you realize they're both competing seriously, trying to outdo and crush the other, you stop them immediately. You scold them and warn them that if they keep it up, you'll end the activity. Both apologize and return to their drawings, now much calmer. The hours pass, and you're not as angry at Unum anymore. Or so you think. The kids are already on their 6th drawing when Unum finally shows up, and the scene before your eyes is as absurd as it is comical. It looks like Unum just got home from work. Oh, that's so cute, look at them! Shams and Noor greet him happily, competing to see who can talk louder to win his attention. He does what he can to listen to them both, but it quickly becomes impossible as Shams demands all the attention, tugging at Unum's robe until it's all out of place while Noor glares at his sister's behavior. Unum doesn't seem to care, and you can't understand how he can be so permissive. It's Noor who stops talking, choosing instead to come back to you and continue drawing. You can't help but notice the embarrassed look on his face as he draws, so you try to cheer him up. Talking nonsense and telling jokes so bad they're almost painful, but it works. Noor ends up laughing a little. Poor Noor. I feel like he's struggling. You both finish your drawings and compare them. Noor's is way better than yours. You blame it on your hands. If they were in better shape, maybe your drawings would look nicer. Wow, Shams just scribbled. Noor leaves the table to go to his room, while Shams stays behind giving Unum a full-on monologue. The poor guy looks at you, pleading for help with his eyes, and you decide to step in. You're the one who has to stop Shams, so she'll leave Unum alone. She obeys instantly without complaint. You're left alone with Unum. Hi, husband. I missed you. Oh, you're so handsome. He approaches, expecting a welcome kiss, and kisses his lips. It's a chaste kiss, nothing passionate or suggestive. An intimate greeting you shared with him a few times, and he seems to have grown so used to it that he demands one every time he returns from the hotel. You even think he's gotten addicted to them. You always catch him staring at your lips afterwards, and you wonder if it's because he wants another kiss, or because he wants to eat you little by little. I sure hope it's both, in a sexy way. Testing and tasting bit by bit, making his portion last until he decides to consume it all at once. He's so pretty. The thought makes you squirm involuntarily. There must be something wrong with you. Maybe this world has completely corrupted you, but where did your decency go? I never had any to begin with? Look what I bought for the kids. He says it so cheerfully that for a moment you forget who you're dealing with. So when Unum pulls out a blood-stained handkerchief from his pocket, it's like a bucket of cold water is dumped over you. Why do you have an eyeball? Of course it wouldn't be a toy or a damn pet dog. If dogs even exist here. No, it had to be two brown eyes staring at you. Raw, bloody and viscous eyes lying lifeless on the cloth. It's so disgusting that you can't help but shove Unum away from you. And he has the audacity to whine, confused by your reaction. Don't you like them? He picks one up between his fingers and brings it closer to his face. Searching for details you'd rather not know, he squeezes it slightly and it's firmer than you expected. Must be because they no longer have that glow they had when they were connected to the placebo body. The mental image of Unum ripping someone's eyes out, or a placebo's whatever, is far more grotesque than the eyes in his hands, because you can picture every detail while Unum smiles through it. They look like yours, but without that little white dot you have, the one that changes size when you're surprised. I really like yours. Do you think they taste the same as the others? You're not eating my eyes. How do you think yours would taste? Your question comes out naturally, in the same tone and intent that Unum used earlier. He looks at you wide-eyed. He didn't see that coming. Excellent. Magnificent. What a counterattack just as twisted as his. You're the freaking best. You can't savor the brilliance of your comeback in peace, nor enjoy the redhead's expression for long because he starts laughing. They don't taste like anything. Look. He puts the eyes away inside his robe, careful not to damage them. What comes next catches you off guard. His hand shoots towards his right eye and you jump back shouting that it's not necessary. His hand pauses just a few centimeters away from his eye. You don't want to witness self-mutilation today. You've had enough after that gift from Shams and Noor. Yeah, can you not rip your eye out? Can we just go into our room and bang-a-lang? Unum tries to explain that it's nothing, that it doesn't hurt. That maybe he can just regenerate another one later, but you ignore him. Maybe another day when your stomach isn't so twisted, you'd be willing to see that. You chat for a while about how each of your days went. Unum listens to you with an intensity that unnerves you a bit, as if every word you say deserves to be remembered and engraved into his memory. You tell him everything you did. Even the mundane things that mean little to you seem to delight him. You're not sure if it's your voice that fascinates him, or if he truly cares to know every detail of your day. Without realizing how it happened, you're already in the kitchen. You keep talking, recounting even the smallest things, though you avoid mentioning what happened during the checkup. You show him the drawings you made with Noor, turning the pages only when you're sure Unum has seen every detail. He studies them with fascination, with a gentle smile. He compares them to the works that adorn his hallways. I really want to see what happens if we, eventually get rid of Septem, and then Unum just gets to, properly be a dad. He even wonders aloud if he can find frames the right size to hang them in his room. Oh, that's so cute! Now between brief silences and laughter, you're preparing dinner for you and the kids. The bad part is, you had to listen to Unum chanting to sanctify the ingredients. All while keeping a neutral face. You had to fight the urge to laugh, but you held it in like a champ. There's no doubt his singing voice is anything but melodic. When the food starts cooking, the aroma fills the room, and for a brief moment everything feels cozy, domestic and familiar. But bit by bit, your mind refuses to let go of that worry. You can't forget what Septem said to Noor. You go back and forth whether to mention it, but deep down you suspect that even if he knew, he couldn't oppose what the head of the garden has ordered. I'm telling him, mention what Septem said. You take advantage of the next moment of silence to finally say what you've been holding in since you entered the kitchen. You don't rehearse your words or build a speech, you just say what matters. A single line. Septem said Noor has to eat less is more than enough for Unum to realize you're talking about the checkup. His smile vanishes instantly. The knife in his hand slices one last piece of fruit. Sliding across the plate, a harsh sound rings out when the blade scrapes against the dish. A bit more force and you're sure one of them, either the plate or the knife, would break. You know Noor needs to eat more. He's lost weight because he already eats too little. Don't you think... Do you say it to you or to him? Unum cuts you off. His voice is dry and his face is devoid of emotion, completely neutral like a machine. You look at him confused. You don't understand the point of the question, or why should it matter who Septem said it to? If he says his name, there's nothing you or I can do. To prove his point, Unum serves equal portions onto the children's plates. His movements are sharp and fast, as if he's angry at the situation, or maybe he's just feeling powerless. I feel bad for him now. As a final touch, he places an eye on each plate. You have to look away to keep from feeling sick. Together you set the table, arranging the plates in their places. Once you're seated, Unum calls the kids to come and eat with you. Shams and Noor come running from the same direction, their clothes stained with dirt. You assume they're outside play fighting. It saddens you to see Noor so thin and small. They're supposed to share the same living conditions, the same schedule, the same care from both of you. But Noor keeps falling further and further behind while Shams keeps moving forward without looking back. What's that? She asks as she sits down staring at her plate. You don't need to be a genius to know what she means. Noor on the other hand looks at the food without much interest, poking at it with his fork. Oh no, the poor baby! Today's the last day of the month. It's human today instead of placebo. I almost ate them on my way home. They smell like you. Nor comments while looking at you a bit sad. Your heart skips a beat. You're right, Nor. Why? Your gaze immediately turns to Unum. You have no idea how to explain this to the children. But when your eyes meet Unum's, you realize he doesn't know what to say either. Because how do you explain to childlike entities that they're about to eat something very similar to the person who plays the role of their parent? In the end, you'll tell her you'll explain later, and to just eat before the food spoils. Shams drops the subject and starts eating, leaving the eye for the last bite. Every now and then you glance nervously at Noor. His plate remains untouched save for the missing eye. When everyone's done, Noor's plate is still almost full. When you ask him if something's wrong, Noor simply says he's not hungry. Septem, when I get my hands on you, I know you're watching. I know you're sitting up here. He gets up from the table to go to bed, following after Shams. You feel like crying, but you swallow it down as best as you can. 3 days have passed since the last checkup, and you can't keep pretending not to see what's obvious anymore. The children are growing, and far too fast. Was it yesterday when you truly realized it? Or maybe the day before? You can't recall exactly, but you remember the rush of horror and dread that followed. This time, the fear is different. What if they don't stop growing? What if in just a few days they become old and turn to dust and bones? Every hour counts. If you had to guess what stage they're in now, you'd say adolescence. Lanky bodies that can't seem to figure out the space between what is theirs and what belongs to others. And that defiant attitude. A constant tug-of-war between what they can do and what they can't, testing how far they can go without earning your reprimand. And they're always measuring what they'll get if they push a bit further, and whether you'll give in or not. It's a game for them, but for you it's exhausting. If only you had the same authority over them that Septem has. To say their name and have them obey instantly. And when Shams looks at you, you hate to admit it, but she scares you a little. Because even though she still looks at you with affection and a touch of innocence, if you pay closer attention or worse, overthink it, you realize she watches you the way a cat does a caged bird from the outside. As for Noor, he eats less and less. It's not because he wants to. You've caught him staring at his food hungrily more than once. You've resorted to extremes. Some you're not proud to admit to, but you were desperate. Forcing him doesn't work, his body rejects what you make him eat. It's barely anything to start. It's as if his body refuses to accept more than a few bites a day, and there's nothing you can do. The movement in the sheets pulls you back to the present. Unum lies beside you on the bed while you flip through the books he brought. You can't read, but they're interesting enough to pass the time. Oh my god. Hi, hello. So Unum, nice to see you in bed. Now his hands take one of yours, bringing it close to his face. Your knuckles brush against his lips and cheeks, I'll brush against something else further down. Suddenly, his teeth enter the equation. He bears them with a mischievous smile, all under your watchful gaze, and traps the skin on the back of your hand between them. Still holding your gaze, he begins to bite slowly. Let him continue. You don't pull away. You watch as his teeth press harder and harder into your flesh, and a strange tingle travels up your arm and into your chest. Is this a kink thing? This is now a kink thing. Unum's gaze doesn't waver even for a second. He's enjoying your reaction. Also, Septem, you are still here. You are just sitting in the proverbial GUI game file cuck chair watching me and my husband. Turn around! When he finally releases the bite, he lazily drags his tongue over where his teeth had been. What's left are faint marks and a reddish bruise tinting your skin. A temporary mark made by him, one that he stares with a mix of pride and desire. Did it hurt? He asks, following it with a long kiss to one of your knuckles. Your answer is brief, just a simple no. Your hands don't feel anything anymore. Not even pressure. If Unum were to rip your hand or finger off in a single bite, you wouldn't feel the pain. But that doesn't give him the right to claim the parts of your body that are bound to become useless someday. It's not fair that you won't give me even a tiny piece of yourself. Even the parts that are dying taste good. Just one little finger, please? No. You're cruel. You're gonna let me starve. That's right. You bite your lip after speaking, trying to hide a laugh. You fail the moment you see the redhead's face scrunch up, feigning pain. You return your attention to the book. Unum lies down beside you, hugging the pillow. He breathes heavily, inhaling and exhaling as if trying to get your attention. He's doing it on purpose. He doesn't need to breathe. It almost looks like a poor imitation of you when you sleep. Maybe even mockery if you think too hard about it. Man! Ugh. He groans in fake pain, rubbing his face into the pillow trapped between his big arms. I want to be trapped in between his big arms. I have a council meeting today. It breaks the silence. You have to lift your eyes from your book to process what he just said. Council? What? He must have noticed your confusion, because he prepares to explain, taking a deep breath before speaking. I had to talk to them every month to stay updated on changes or issues within my domain. Nothing entertaining. I don't like it. They're also old-fashioned and dull. I want to stay with you. Don't go. Stay here with me. Why do you make this harder for me? Ugh. I'm not allowed to skip it. I promise I'll be back before the day ends. You can't interrupt his call to duty. So after Unum makes breakfast for you and the children, he leaves. Today, Shams doesn't want to stay in the residence, preferring to visit Ignis, Solaris, and Eliana. She tells you before leaving and asks you not to make her take Noor along. You ask her why, feeling a little angry about her attitude. Noor doesn't want to go. Why are you being so mean to your brother? You're so tall now. He shut the door in my face when I asked if he wanted to come with me. Did you two fight? Shams glances to the left, pursing her lips while figuring out how to answer your question. No. It's obvious they fought, but she still tries to deny it. Before leaving, she gives you a sideways glance filled with guilt and worry. She calls you by your parental title. Her voice soft and tender. It reminds you of all the other times that name has come from her mouth, but this time it feels strange. So strange that it twists your stomach. It'd be better if he handles it. And she leaves. Just like that. You don't get the chance to ask who she means by he. With how much influence Septem has over your children, you're not sure if Shams meant him or Unum. Oh no! You try and pass the time by finding something, anything, to keep yourself busy, but it's difficult. Clean. Unnecessary. Unum always keeps everything spotless. And you're pretty sure he cleans the residence while you sleep. Cook? Impossible, your chants don't work since you don't know the language they use to sanctify food. Read? When Unum has time, you'll ask him to teach you to read and chant. So you have two options, chat with the paintings in the halls or go talk to your son. Go chat with the paintings. We'll do both. It sounds stupid enough to try, and if it helps the hours go by faster, you've got nothing to lose. You walk decisively towards the first painting that comes to mind. Your first victims are the two women cutting the throat of the man lying on the bed. You explain your theory about why you think they're still doing that. It's complete nonsense, but you still speak respectfully. You expect some sort of response as you look at the painting, but neither woman gives you one. You don't bother asking the man because, well, he can't speak with his throat slit. Poor guy. You had to pause for a moment to process what you're doing. Yeah, what am I doing? Yikes. You've officially become the neighborhood lunatic the moment you decide to talk to paintings. Good thing no one can see how deranged you look. Yeah, it's time to stop. In silence and with a bit of shame, you step away from the scenes, walking slowly and staring at the floor. Despite the passing hours, you can't get Shams' words out of your head. Would it really be better if he handled it? You really don't think so. Septem? Unum. You don't know which one she meant. And that only makes it worse. The very thought that she might not have meant Unum, that it could actually be Septem, makes your blood boil. You're the one who's there with them every day, watching in fear as they grow at an alarming rate. You're the one who longs to and regrets not holding them more when they were babies. No one is going to take away the responsibility you have towards your children. It's time to have a real conversation with Noor about how he's been feeling lately. You walk with a strange tightness in your throat. Each step fills and disturbs the static calm of the place. They shouldn't sound this loud or echo this much, but today they do. You head straight to the room Noor shares with her sister. Just a few more steps ahead, then a turn to the left. You already know the mental layout of this residence, like the back of your hand. You're hoping that when you walk in, Noor will greet you with that gentle, timid smile of his. You reach the door to his room and it's open. Still, you knock to announce yourself, but there's no reply. When you step inside, the room is empty. Noor? Oh no, where is he? No one answers your call. Strange. You turn on your heels to go look for him. He shouldn't be outside, because whenever one of the twins leaves, they always let you know. The moment you step out of the room, an immense force slams into your chest and sends you falling backwards. Oh no! Noor? With all his weight on top of you, Noor grabs your shoulders, hitting you down. His fingers and nails dig into your skin, tearing it open until blood wells from the wounds. You stare at his eyes in horror. The gentle look is gone, completely replaced by something else. Now you understand why Shams didn't want you involved. Noor looks at you the same way he looks at the leftovers he's forbidden to eat. With hunger. Noor, stop! Noor ignores your words. Slowly, you die at the hands of your own son. Wait, no, goddammit. Bad end. Names are important here. Alright, I'm gonna have to try and say his actual name. Try and say his original name. You try and scream his name, but you can't. Try again. Oh, is that Nala? Try and say his original name. You struggle to break free, pushing against his face with your hands, trying to shove him back, but it's useless. In your desperation, you try to put distance between you with your legs. That works. Again, try to say his original name. Noor doesn't want you to win. He takes his position again, this time with his hands on your stomach. Again. Thanks, Nala. Thanks for cheering me on. His desperation and hunger blind him so completely that your screams don't reach his ears. Lost in a trance you can't break, his nails tear through your clothes, reaching flesh. Come on, harder. Thanks. Yeah, I would like to say that to you as well, Nala. Let's try and say his name again. He grabs your skin with his fist, with a clear goal to rip you open and devour your organs. One more. Serious! Stop! Noor freezes, his body tensing the moment you speak his true name. In his eyes, your terrified reflection trembles. Your arms are outstretched before you in an utterly useless shield of flesh and bone. He could tear you apart at any second. Noor blinks once, tiny tears glistening in his eyes. On his next blink, they break free, streaming down his cheeks non-stop. He opens his mouth, but no words come out. The poor baby! The only sounds escaping his throat are broken whimpers swallowed by his uncontrollable sobs. When he finally gathers the strength to speak, he calls out to you. Scared, sorrowful, and filled with regret, but he doesn't reach for you. He doesn't seek your touch. He stays still, trying to make himself as small as possible while he keeps crying. He apologizes over and over, barely stopping to breathe, until his voice turns hoarse. I feel so bad for him. Approach and cradle him in your arms. Noor tries to push you away, flailing his hands and feet like a baby, but it's a weak attempt. If he could, he'd have you far away and covered in more wounds. Even though his closeness burns, you don't care. You need to comfort your baby. It doesn't take long before he's in your arms, crying uncontrollably while begging for forgiveness. He struggles to articulate what he wants to say, his words devoured by sobs. But you understand him. You caress his face and whisper words of love to him. You tell him that you can never be angry at him, never hate him, and he'll always be your little one no matter what happens. After a while, he begins to calm down. But he doesn't stop crying. It's now that you truly come to your senses. You're dealing with entities in the world far more dangerous than you ever let yourself admit. You're raising beings who could tear your eyes out with a single motion. It now hits you that you should be terrified. But it's hard to feel that fear completely. Because behind those teeth and claws, they're still your children. They're not monsters. End of Act 2. You have to wait a while to find out how this ends. Oh, my poor sweet baby. Oh, I feel so bad. Okay, time to hunt Unum's route for extras before we move on to Septem's. I'm gonna try and click Nulla's icon up the top here. Nothing happens. Oh, nothing happens, really? Oh, that's so sad. Moving on to find some other stuff, I guess. Because I know when we click Septem's, something does happen with his. Okay, last time I clicked Sirius to get Noor to stop. What happens if we do try to say his original name again? Seriously, you're still clicking. Yes, Nulla, I'm trying to find some new stuff. Wonder what happens if I poke this now. Nothing happens. Okay. Oh, I see. You just want to keep reading me a little longer, kitty. You're running out of time. But I want to keep talking to you. Oh, I can't click it anymore. Okay. Sirius. Sirius, stop. Noor freezes, his body tensing the moment you speak his true name. In his eyes, you're terrified. Reflection trembles. Oh, I feel so bad that we have to do this. What happens if we get up and leave? You can't deal with this right now. So you run away. You get away as fast as you can, rushing to hide in your room. You figure out what to do when Unum gets back. It's now that you truly come to your senses. You're dealing with entities in the world far more dangerous than you ever let yourself admit. You're raising beings who would tear your eyes out with a single motion. It now hits you that you should be terrified. But it's hard to feel that fear completely. Because behind those teeth and claws, they're still your children. They're not monsters. End of Act 2. Alright, let's get back. Now we have to scold the poor boy. You stand up as best as you can. You don't know where the strength or courage comes from, but you do it. And with the firmest voice you can muster, you start scolding him. You barely stop to think about what you're saying. It all comes pouring out like an emotional outburst. You can barely hear yourself. All that fills your ears are Noor's sobs slowly fading in intensity until they turn into faint whimpers. I feel awful. It's now that you truly come to your senses. You're dealing with entities in the world far more dangerous than you ever let yourself admit. It now hits you that you should be terrified. But it's hard to feel that fear completely. Because behind those teeth and claws, they're still your children. They're not monsters. I felt terrible doing that. I felt like a dick. I felt really bad. I'm gonna try some of Unum's other options. You seem to enjoy spending time with Septem. He looks at you confused. You caught him so off guard he doesn't know how to respond. It even seems like he's forgotten how to speak. It's not by choice. But he's messing with you, right? Right? That's not as bad as I thought. What about me? I'm your wife. Besides, he lets me take whatever I want from his library. Unbelievable. Your husband sells himself out for a few books. What little respect for his own dignity. It's so sad how Unum's route was the fun one and now it's getting upsetting and concerning. You're pretty sure most of the meeting consists of Septem insulting Unum in ways so subtle he doesn't even notice. Or maybe it consists of Unum giving Septem a hard time instead. You're not sure which of the two is worse. Unum clears his throat. He takes a deep breath and his words spill out like the air escaping a deflating balloon. Starting tomorrow. The children will have to attend their checkups with Septem separately. Okay, well, that goes back to the main path. What about if we click this one? Is there something important I should know? Not for now. Everything's under control. And Septem's satisfied with the results. What results? Unum clears his throat, and he takes a deep breath. His words spill out like the air escaping a deflating balloon. Well, I think that's the end of that branch, but it's like concerning. Why does Septem get to experiment on my children? Nulla, help, say something. Nothing happens. No! Skipping forward a bit, I'm gonna tell him I want to be alone. I want to be alone. Go away. What? Have you already gotten bored of me? You're like a golden retriever. I've done everything that appears in the romance books from the library. You need to stop treating everything you read like it's absolute truth. You're right. I'll go. Unum steps back, completely thrown off. He clearly didn't expect that response from you. Good night. I hope you rest well. You had to bite the inside of your cheeks to bear the sight before you. I feel bad. Come back to bed. It should be illegal for Unum to make so many faces, and for each one to be so damn expressive. He practically looks like a scolded puppy, kicked out of his owner's room. How you hate him? No, I don't. I don't hate him. The kind of one his swimwear, without another word. He leaves the room, closing the door soft behind him. Sleep doesn't take long to come. And you drift off instantly. And last one I wanted to check out, we'll turn our face away because we already kissed his lips. Oh, the smile went smaller. I feel so bad. Unum stops when he sees your reaction. He apologizes, a bit embarrassed, and tries to make conversation to smooth over your rejection. Look what I brought for the kids. Okay, let's go back. I'm sorry. Kiss his cheek. A touch of his cheek is warm, sending a sensation that travels from his lips down to your stomach. Greeting Unum in a way reserved for people you care for. You care for or trust feels good. It's almost intimate. Like a secret only the two of you share. A human custom that doesn't exist in other domains. Cheek kisses aren't a known concept here, and that makes you oddly proud. Proud that you can teach him such small things that he takes them so seriously, cherishing and treasuring them in his daily life. Look what I brought for the kids. And last one. Tell him to take me to the meeting. Unum stares at you wide-eyed, then laughs loudly, almost uncontrollably. Do you have a death wish? Looking and smelling like that, you wouldn't even make it to the council room door. Well, I don't think they can take me down anyway. Aw, so you're saying you'd protect me? I don't think you'd be safe if I started fighting near you either. Remember in Act 2, when Nulla and you go and kill Kinke, and Unum shows up ready to fight, and he's like shirtless because Nulla impersonated Eliana? It's better if you stay here. I can tell the girls to keep you company for the day. You can't interrupt his call to duty. So after Unum made breakfast for you and the children, he left. Well, and now we have it. Because the next choice is where you go talk to Nora. So I think we're going to wrap up Unum's route and move on to Septem's. Oh, I'm so excited for Septem's route. Okay, we're going to start a little bit before the end of Act 2 again, just for context, like we did with all the other ones. So tiny recap here. Septem's body is currently failing. So he wants to combine with you to create a newly divine one. But the issue is that he then asks you to expel Nulla's influence over you. And I don't think that's going to end very well. Speaking of, before we start off, if we click Nulla here, does anything happen? Nothing happens. Aww. Sorry. This body can't take it anymore. He rises with difficulty and gives you a quick glance. There are traces of blood on his lips and chin. It's serious. Seeing him bleed is as bizarre as thinking that Septem might actually die. Can he even die? Perhaps his physical body can. As best as he can, he makes his way to the candle that adorns the ceremonial altar table. He touches the dome, giving it a solemn look, as if he wanted to feel its warmth up close. The answer has always been here. It is part of the Father. His flesh is here, material of a primordial god. We will use it to create a completely divine body. Septem offers you his hand and awaits your response. I know you still have many doubts, but I promise that when we join together, you will know everything, without the need for me to explain it to you. You will see everything through my eyes. We will become one and leave behind these finite bodies. What will happen to the bodies? Mine will regain its individuality. Yours, unfortunately, will have to die. I cannot risk any trace of Nulla's walking through the garden. What? No! Do you suppose I'm from Nulla? You're mistaken. I only serve Yiddy. I don't suppose it. I know it. My eyes sensed it when I bonded with you. We did what now? He has access to you once you set your eyes on him. It will be the beginning of the end. You must let go of Yiddy. No! No! Yiddy, don't do this to me. Septem looks at you in silence. You have to do something to let them live. Do you care about the puppet? Please. I'm trying to help you. Don't let them die. Maybe we can think of something. Septem begins to cough again. We must hurry, or he will die. Is he referring to his puppet? Ah, the shot is so pretty. Give me your hand. You grasp his hand tightly, and Septem begins to recite chants in words you cannot understand. Father, with this sacred body I shall fulfill my ultimate wish for a new age without your presence or condemnation. I will take both souls and merge them into one, creating the divine being in body and soul. Oh, we're having a soul baby? And forgive us our trespasses. Something in the room changes. The space gradually disappears, leaving behind an absolute white. Where only you, Septem, and the candle remain. Gradually that white begins to mutate, giving rise to small flashes of light and dust. The candle expands its form with each passing minute, stretching out abnormally. Oh my god! Searching for a form. Searching for a figure. I don't remember seeing this CG art before. Searching for the perfect form of a human body. Transfer the eyes of this greater entity into a new body. You feel an intense pain in your eyes, as if they were being pressed against your skull, as if they were burned, as if they were being torn out by force. Transfer my essence into this new body, and let us become one. You stop seeing. You stop hearing. Everything turns to black. A blinding white floods your mind, restless and unyielding. It's irritating, and the only way to escape it is to open your eyes. But it's incredibly difficult, as if something is holding you back from doing so. You try and try. but to no avail. Your eyes refuse to obey your commands, until something. A spark runs through your entire body from your feet to your head. Yandere, this is going to hurt a little. You hear Septem's voice, but not through your ears. No, his voice originates from inside your mind as if he's speaking directly into your thoughts. You don't have the time to focus on the voice as your skin begins to burn. You feel it tearing apart slowly, painfully and torturously. And then your entire body starts to change. You feel bones and organs both exploding and forming inside you, replacing those that have any imperfections. You want to scream, but you hold it in. Just when you think the worst is over, you feel your heart tear over and over again. With each attempt, it's never satisfying, never turning out the way you want. No, it has to be perfect. You try once more and that's it. You open your eyes and your vision is... all you see is the blinding white of your mind. Fear creeps in. It's strange to see with these eyes. Something is terribly wrong. We're still not fully synced. You look at your hands and they're Septem's hands. But they no longer have that distinctive black hue. You're in Septem's body. Wow, finally inside him. At what cost? Do you like it? You're so pretty. Oh, I love how soft he looks here. The colors are gorgeous. No, we won't be like this for long. Now we have the creator's power. I can make you an entirely new body. Physically separate from mine, but connected in soul. Me when I get Septem's soul pregnant? I need time. Meanwhile, we could say that I'm your puppet now. And pilot him like a meat suit. You can use me the same way you used your old one. Bent over? How lovely. Oh, you have to put all your will into maintaining your body's shape. Even if you get distracted for just a second, your arms and legs begin to tremble. You fear they'll break. So you have to think about which part or stimulus to block in order to keep the limbs affected by the lack of energy stable. Yandere, I feel weak. I think it's necessary to rest my eyes for a moment. Don't you think so? Yes. No. No. I think you... Your body can't hold on much longer. You feel its mass destabilizing, making it impossible to remain conscious and present in the physical plane of the garden. Who would have thought that having your own body would be so hard to sustain? The energy you're using right now is at its limit, making it impossible to move your body without staggering. I'm sorry, I don't think I can hold on any longer. We're not synchronized enough to share a single perspective. That's the last thing you say before collapsing onto the altar. In the beginning, there was nothing, only darkness and destruction, until the demiurge arrived. Your father. But you have a faint suspicion, deep within your tight chest, that he doesn't consider you as someone, much less as a son. You are nothing. Nothing compared to his goal of continuing to create. Again and again, you recall the few fleeting conversations you were honored to have with him. Some filled your soul with hope, a comforting warmth that wrapped around your entire amorphous being. And other times, the conversations left you with more worries than you needed. You never had a true stability in your first days of consciousness. Even so, you still miss those silent moments between conversations. That look of pride he gave you whenever you did something right. A look that would instantly turn into words like, "You can do better." You forgot to add this. "If you keep up, you won't be able to sustain the garden." No, there's no point in coming back here. You don't feel like digging into this any further. You have to get out of here. When you lift your head, you notice a path inviting you to follow it. So you take it, just like how it takes Septem later. The moment your feet touch the path, the place distorts and shifts. It's a path made of a strange mixture of sand and water. There's nothing else, so all you can do is walk. When you look behind you, the path fades away, leaving no trace of your steps. There's no ambient noise, not even the sound of your feet touching the water. There's nothing to accompany you on your walk, and that gnaws at your soul. With each step, guilt grabs a hold of you, clings to your back and then lets go, but only after stealing a bit of your hope. It repeats its process until you're left with a miserable drop of it. Nala has told you countless times, things will get ugly when they come, and they will, eventually. Yet you order him to continue, to find humans, to sate the symbol's thirst of faith by any means necessary, to not let them live in agony with every inhale of your mortal body. The thought that all the beings in your world will lose their sanity once the humans are gone steals your breath away. Allah has told you so many times that you can't keep using this method forever. Sooner or later, someone will come and put an end to it. I do like looking into Septem's past. I feel like the more we play his route, the more of an understanding we get about his character. Be it as father's master, an outsider to the garden, or father himself if they arrive. Nala has always been direct, and he'll take that opportunity if he can. Nala says it's for the best, that the only solution is to erase the world, pray that the being comes and puts an end to all of this. But no, your very reason for being doesn't allow you to do that. You don't want to do that. Letting the garden be destroyed not only means erasing everything you protect, but also every trace of father in yourself. You still have time to come up with something, to devise a plan that could solve everything. So you focus on your mission, so not as to fall to what Nala calls the cure-all for all your woes. Maybe if you alter the world, you'll catch father's attention and finally have a chance to speak with him and reach an agreement. to beg him, to weep for him as you never have before, to scream at him the things you never had the courage to say, to tell him you want to live, that this feeling isn't born from the reason you were created. It has nothing to do with your rank or your purpose. No, you truly want to see the garden grow with him by your side. You want to perceive every single thing that resides here. The things you've never been able to because of your rank and your body. You want to start living, to finally enjoy life once and for all. Not this endless awakening chain to worries you can't solve, no matter how much of yourself you pour into it. I feel bad for Septem, but the solution keeps slipping through your hands. You're tired of trying to untangle a thread that will always be bound by infinite knots. You want to rest, to return to the days where you shared command with Father. You walk with difficulty now. The sand swallows you the further you go and the water keeps you from regaining your normal pace. But you don't let yourself sink. You won't give up. You have to reach the end of this path. In the distance you can see the end. There, a light awaits you. It must be the solution the entire garden has been seeking. But you can't reach it yet. Until then, you'll do whatever it takes to reach that place no matter what. If the opportunity arises, you'll seize it. No matter what you do, cut off your feet, remove the water or sand that hinders you, or even make the place come to you. You're going to do it, one way or another. It doesn't matter if others think removing your feet is grotesque, if removing the water or sand is immoral, or if making the place come to you is impossible. You will do it, with or without Father. Wake him. Ugh. What happened? Wait, I don't feel you completely, but I know you're here. Damn it. You're inside me and you have access to all of me. I sure do. My soul lies bare for your eyes to devour it. What a line. And I don't think this is what we were looking for. So why didn't we have a more stable connection before? Wasn't conscious. I see. Inside my inner world, we can form this kind of symbiosis. Similar to the one that you had with your former puppet. Here with me conscious, we can't reach that level of synchronization. It's even harder now that I don't have much energy left. I didn't think it through. Well, I had no choice. Right now I lack both the energy and the knowledge to create an entirely new physical body for you, and I suppose being inside my body must be boring for you. Since you stop being you and become me, you begin to experience firsthand my perception of this world, my desires and thoughts. Ooh, I can look to see if you have a crush on me. Damn. Okay, listen, we'll do something. I promise you more freedom in this world, and so I will give it to you. I have neither the means nor the knowledge to create a new body capable of holding you, but I can modify my own. I rise from the altar and look around. Raphael is on the floor breathing. That's good. He's fine. There's no trace of the puppet. Could have disintegrated. I can't sense its presence within my domain. Is he dead? I think so. I'll worry about that later. Now I must move Raphael's body to a safe room. Raphael's body vanishes from the temple with the clap of your hands. He now rests unconscious in his bed and there's nothing you can do to wake him. With or without a heart fit for him. We'll see what we can do with Raphael later. First, I'll give you hands so you can interact with this place. I'll attempt it now. 2 should be enough, I suppose. I sigh and begin chanting words I've always known, and never dared to perform. Out of respect for Father, this is one of his personal invocations. An invocation of emergency or protection. I never thought I'd use it, until Nella erased Father's arm. I still remember seeing Father 7 days after I received Raphael's body. It was the first and last time I saw him that way. After that, he vanished. I didn't even get a chance to say goodbye. He just handed me the candle and said he would punish Septem. I didn't think the punishment would extend to everyone for so long. I underestimated him. Septem. You're right. I must continue. Out loud I recite the part, so that you may gain more freedom. So you're no longer bound to read me this way. I suppose it's better like this. To satisfy your need to be involved with this world. And since I have the role of being your host, I'll try to keep my word. Now you have my main eye and my hands to do as you please. Wow, really? Hands? You'll be able to interact a little more with my world in a limited way, yet with more freedom than you had before. We won't lose our body and soul connection, but now you'll have a new perspective. You'll set me aside partially, since you won't be me, but rather a pair of hands and eyes, and I'll still remain your narrator and puppet. My hands begin to trace the sigils that feel forbidden to summon, as if staining the name of Father in the process. Chants rise in Latin as I begin to yield a part of this divine body to you. And in time I create new hands for you. A fragment of my being detaches to be given to you, along with it I grant you control. Is what matters most. Septem grants you part of his identity. The iron hands are now yours. They now belong to you. Oh my god, his new sprite is so pretty. Now you have a little piece of me you can control. I hope this pleases you, Yandere. Uh-huh. May I touch you? You'll still be able to feel me, but your point of view won't be mine. I suppose it's like a new puppet. Just a simpler one. I hope I can make you a complete one later. You may try your new hands now. Okay. I get to touch him? I think you can touch me now. Woohoo! Oh, let's touch the wings. You run your fingers along the feathers, slow and gentle. Touching them has a calming effect on Septem. The feathers farther from the base are less sensitive than those closer to it. When your fingers brush those small feathers, Septem squirms, restless. You're enjoying this more than I thought. Be grateful that I'm keeping my word and letting you test your hands right now. If it weren't for that, you wouldn't have the right to touch me. No one does. I'll show you. Let's touch him again. What about the... Oh, I can touch his face. That's so cute, look. His cheek is soft. Very much like that of a human's. It radiates warmth and feels smooth. You can't help but squeeze it a little more. Septem is angry, but he maintains his composure. He lets out a short sigh and looks at you helpless. I don't want you to do that again. Your face. It's beautiful. He looks conflicted. Yes, after all, it's Raphael's face, not mine. Forget it. Septem averts his gaze, disappointed. You struggle to understand why he feels so strange. You search and search within him, but somehow Septem won't let you in. You won't give up. You try harder. And just when you think you've grasped his feelings enough to analyze them, they twist and slip away from your hands. But those few seconds are more than enough to understand. He isn't completely at peace with his body. Touch his cheek again. You squeeze again. So squishy. Stop. I don't like people touching my face. I won't repeat myself again. I'm sorry. I'll touch the halo first though. The sensation is strange, like you're touching your own eye. But there's an intense warmth that spreads from that delicate contact. Septem looks uncomfortable. This is something beyond his control. You're touching him. Really touching him. Well, so you take the chance to gently stroke his eye before Septem forbids you to continue, as opposed to me stroking something else. Hey, I think you're getting a little too comfortable. Enough. Touch his face again. That's enough. This isn't a game. You need to learn to respect. Be more considerate next time. Septem moves your hand away from his face and stops you from continuing the test. You shouldn't have ignored his words. Aww. Your hands stop moving and within seconds Septem takes control of them. He moves them side to side, flexes the fingers, opening and closing the fists, testing their functions. They're in good condition. It's a very good first attempt. Surely, father would be proud. Anyway, this is a gift. I hope you appreciate it, Yandere. A silence follows his words, and Septem feels like he's forgetting something. It doesn't take him long to remember what it was, so he asks you to come with him. It's time for lunch. He unconsciously heads towards the kitchen. As he walks, he raises his hands to conjure his ingredients. But his low energy stops him, making him reconsider. What am I doing? He asks himself. Then he stops abruptly, looks at his feet and the counter, then at you. There's silence both inside and outside of him. A short circuit within brings him back to his senses and he realizes the stupidity of what he's doing. And then an intangible burst of embarrassment occurs. One that only you and he can feel. You taste the shame bubbling in his stomach for a moment, but his face doesn't show it. And you can only taste it thanks to the connection you share. Now Septem can't hide his emotions from you. But I sure hope he doesn't. I would like to see inside this man and befriend him. And maybe hopefully one day we get to kiss him. That'd be nice. Now Septem can't hide his emotions from you. And that makes him feel even more humiliated. And angry. But he won't give you the satisfaction of seeing it on his face. That would be like losing twice. With a heavy sigh, Septem straightens up and looks away from you. You sense how Septem doesn't know what to do. He no longer has a clear purpose for the day. He no longer needs to rest his body nor prepare his strict plain meals. His routine no longer has a reason to exist. His body, although similar to his old one in organs and skin, is self-sustaining. His heart beats thanks to divine energy, keeping the rest of his body running like a single engine. But there's no need to sustain it with rituals and routines that consume time and simulate the experience of having a mortal body. There's nothing left to do to pass the hours of real purpose or mission anymore. Septem has never had idle time. And you feel anxiety begin to creep up from his feet, screaming and demanding to do something. Oh, I feel that as though whenever I'm on vacation, I'm like, this feels wrong. Septem doesn't know what to do. I think getting some air would help. Step outside for air. Thank you. You both head out to the garden. Oh, this is a pretty place. Septem takes a deep breath, releasing all the tension he's been holding. I feel better now. Do you want to go back to the temple? Wait, I want to look around. What are these? Septem watches the fish in silence. I wish I had more things in my garden. Living beings, not just energy. He doesn't say anything after that. You both watch the little energy figures in silence. What about this? And these flowers are pure energy. They're connected to the entire garden. They stretch beneath the ground and reach every corner. Through them, I can sense what can and cannot be fixed. Can you turn them off? No, I'm no destructive entity. His words make your stomach tingle, or maybe it's his. You remember how easy it was for Septem to hurt you, and Nulla. Forgive me, let me rephrase that. I cannot harm anything born from the garden. Wouldn't you like to try it now? After all, he holds a different rank now. Septem falls silent for a minute, and curiosity slips in like a sneaky and insistent rat, settling in his mind. Septem grips the flower by its stem and pulls, expecting nothing to happen. Ooh! He did it! He just broke the flower. The flower starts to... That was interesting. Septem stares in horror at the spot where the flower once was, but he says nothing. I feel kind of bad about that. What about this? What's that? We'll go there another time. Not today. I don't want to go there today. Well, I think that's all, so we'll just poke him. And yeah, let's head back inside. Alright. 3 days pass, during which Septem dedicates himself to observing Raphael's body and getting used to your presence, to your eternal company, which doesn't leave him for a single moment, almost suffocating him with your presence. But now it doesn't feel as uncomfortable as before. Septem has already accepted your company. The room where Raphael lies is identical to all the others in Septem's temple, consisting of only what's necessary. Oh, Raphael's so pretty. Septem observes Raphael, who lies asleep with furrowed eyebrows. When you look at him, you can't detect his heartbeat, but he breathes without issue. How is he still alive? I'm sustaining his body with my energy, he confesses without hesitation. So this is why Septem doesn't have enough energy to summon or create a body for you. Is he important to you? Yes, I know everything about him. It's impossible to not care for him. I thought you hated each other. What? What makes you think that? Raphael spoke to me. His eyes lock on you, accompanied by a frown that carves wrinkles into his skin. Did you go into his room without permission? Septem's voice rises with each word, sharp and visceral. He clenches his fist and tenses his shoulder, unsure how to channel the anger growing as he dwells on your transgressions. But as he focuses his gaze and analyzes what he sees, he realizes the puppet is no longer there. Now it's just you, without an intermediary. You, the one who can help him save the garden. You, the new master and lord of the garden if all goes well. Septem controls himself, closes his eyes and begins counting silently to 10. The image of Raphael and what he said comes to mind. And with regret he admits he must be right. His body relaxes. His shoulders drop. His fists unclench and he runs a hand through his hair, brushing it back. I stopped writing to him and we lost touch. I suppose he must hate me now. Is he your son? I don't think that's the right thing to say. It'll be interesting. For a moment, Septem looks at you with disgust. Where'd you get that from? Did you misread the documents? He clenches his fist, angry. The thought alone seems enough to throw him off, whether because of the documents themselves or how you supposedly found them. Either way, Septem reconsiders and sighs. Impossible. You can't read Latin. His eyes fall back on Raphael's body. Of course he's not my son. He grumbles. I just care for his body and keep him alive. There's a silence. The heavy, overwhelming kind, but nostalgic nonetheless. Septem starts walking towards the door. Raphael's a good writer. We used to communicate through a journal. I liked reading what he wrote for me each time he returned to his body. After every meal, I kind of miss doing that. There's a pause in his movements. He blinks in disbelief, realizing he's telling you things you didn't even ask for, and how strange it feels to speak so freely with you. That unsettles him a little. Septem raises his hand. A clear sign that he doesn't want to hear your reply. But deep down you sense that Septem is closing a door to stop himself from releasing the flood of emotions and worries inside, trying to protect his ego. I owe you an apology. I don't want to make you bear my burdens. Nor is it necessary for you to comfort me. I don't need it. He says it solemnly. Insist. I told you, I don't need it. His voice shifts, turning rough and coarse. He's getting angry but restrains himself. Insist. I think he's gonna kill us. You don't understand. Or are you asking for it? I see you only understand through force. Oh well, rip me. Goodbye, Yinny. He's so hot though. Septem takes one of your hands, using a force that shatters your bones. An intense pain bursts through your being. It's a pain that's origin you can't quite grasp. A phantom pain that seeps into everything you can call your own. It's a shared pain, one that Septem feels as well, but is determined to continue. Then it's your eye, which is forced shut in an instant. Come back when you learn to respect my word. You're not quite sure what happens next, but your connection with Septem is severed. Damn it, fine, alright, I'll stop insisting. Let it be. What do we do about Raphael? There's nothing you nor I can do right now. Only wait. There's a moment of stillness while Septem ponders what you could do today. I think we could cook. To pass the time. Raphael won't wake up no matter how much we watch him. The problem lies in his heart. The kitchen is so spotless it feels surreal. Nothing is out of place and it looks like a photograph. The space is just enough for one person. It's not designed to accommodate anyone else. Septem tells you that you'll make tartlets, a recipe written in the journal he shares with Raphael, but he never wanted to make them before. He said it was for lack of time. You begin searching for the ingredients. Your hands move across the counters and drawers, looking for what Septem asks. It feels odd to do this manually since you could simply summon everything with a clap. Maybe it's a lack of energy. Or maybe Septem wants to experience the human simplicity of searching for things on his own. Though there's also the possibility he enjoys watching you struggle a little while looking for everything. Who knows? Once everything is ready, you begin preparing the tartlets. You mix and whisk and separate the ingredients. It's all very pleasant. The moment feels warm. Watching Septem's concentrated expression is priceless. You can almost imagine a day off with him as your companion, preparing treats for guests, or just for the two of you. Like a date? It's time to decorate. Septem tops on with 2 pieces of fruit. Only 2? Yes. I want you to decorate the rest. I've done all the work, I'm tired. He says that with a frown, but you're sure he doesn't mean it. Septem doesn't get tired anymore. And more than once you've caught him watching your hands move. Fascinated. Go ahead, Yandere. Wow, if I'm just like disembodied hands, Septem and I are gonna have like the freakiest sex. If he says only 2, I'll just do 2 and see if he like approves of it. Stop. After you finish, Septem admires your work, giving it a long, thoughtful look. He can't help but smile a little. Without saying a word, he takes one of the tarts to taste it. He looks so ordinary, it's almost frightening. You did well. But it's strange to see you handling things. Strange? Or do you like it? Both. I'll handle you. His ears turn faintly pink. Septem's daily activities now amount to spending time with you out of obligation. But he's gotten used to it. You can even sense that he doesn't mind it, though he struggles to find logic in that. Acceptance is a slow and uneasy process for him. You're there at all times, accompanying him. Even the silence is pleasant, thanks to your presence. Right now you're in the garden, and Septem has been staring at the lake for a long time. Suddenly, something begins to descend from above. Oh, hello. Oh, he's so cute. There's a spider on your screen. Find it and scare it away. It's a spider. Oh, okay. Poke it. Boop. You touch the spider, but before you can even brace yourself, you're transported to another place. You get the faint sensation of falling, and then it stops. Strange. You're grateful to not have a body because you're sure you would have fallen to your knees. Oh my god. Oh my god. Hi. You're so pretty. It's so nice to meet you. Wow. This man's hot as hell. He kind of reminds me of Finan and from Honkai Star Rail and a little bit of Nice from To Be Hero X. Oh, you are so cute. May I kiss you? Hadarel? What am I doing here? The entity looks around suspiciously, then at you. You. All his attention is on you. He steps closer, looking down at you. He's tall, forcing you to adjust your stance just to meet his gaze. Are you the one responsible for this? Oh, you are so pretty. Oh, I want you so bad. No. You explain that you don't know what happened. A spider suddenly fell from the screen and you tried to shoo it away. The entity looks at you incredulously. He inspects you for a few more seconds, measuring your sincerity. Then his expression shifts. He now looks at you with interest, pupils dilated and half-lidded, paired with a confident smile, almost as if he secretly desired you. Whoa. I mean, I also desire him, but I don't keep it a secret. Your soul radiates an exquisite light, but it's trapped within that eye. Perhaps if I... Tell me, where is your body? You explain. Summarizing everything that happened to you so far isn't hard. He listens carefully, encouraging you to continue. With such active listening, you fall head over heels. Oh yeah, I absolutely do. Eventually your monologue turns into genuine conversation, where both of you ask questions of each other. Are your wings sensitive? May I touch them? You discover that he belongs to another dimension. He's a guardian of humankind sent by his master, God. His wings are proof of it. You're so cute. You want to ask? You need to ask. That brooch. Yeah, that brooch. That's interesting. That brooch. Ah, this? I obtained it from the eye of a man-eating beast. If it weren't for me, many people would have died. His hand moves to the brooch, squeezing it with pride. My turn. If I understood correctly, you had the ability to travel through time, or something like that, right? To travel between timelines. To alter the past or the future. Tell me, is that what you can do? Yes, consider I can load and save. The entity sighs, letting out a soft laugh. Truly. Impeccable. You are incredible. So are you. I have a crush on you. Hadarel's about to say something when 2 giant hands gently grab him. Before he can react, they close around him, making him vanish from the scene. No! My boyfriend! Oh, no. He almost took you. He almost ate you. And besides, ate me like in a sexy way or in like a vole way. And besides, we can't do this without permission. This character isn't my property. There's a strange eye floating nearby. It doesn't seem focused on you. It moves side to side, wandering around the area. I see. In the end, she forced him in without my permission. I just hope she asked the author and rightful owner before putting him here. Is he talking about the developer? I don't want to disappoint Cinco. In the end, she always does whatever she wants and doesn't care about my script. Great. The eye stops moving and fades away like a foam being blown, only to reappear right in front of you. Yandere, Father, welcome to the space where everything is interconnected. I've got 2 options for you. We can pretend this never happened, or you can stay here a little longer. What do you prefer? I want to stay. Good. Here we are. Welcome to my home. The strange entity circles around you excitedly, narrowing its eye. You won't admit it out loud, but it looks kinda cute. This is where I spend most of my time. It's the only place I can't change. But I like it. It's cozy and there's plenty of space. Also, it changes color depending on what she and I do. Feels nice to have a guest. Oh wait, 2 more hands materialize beside the entity and begin floating around you looking for where to grab you. One of them takes hold of your eye, gently giving it a soft squeeze. My eye! The other snaps its fingers and in an instant, you, it, and the entire space begin to change. Out of nowhere, a body is created for you to control and inhabit. Once you feel in control of it, you realize you're sitting at a small table with cups and sweets arranged on little plates. Everything is beautifully decorated. Oh my god. Hello? Hi? Do you come here often? What's your star sign? What size bra do you wear? He's so hot. What the hell? I know everybody calls you father, but can I call you daddy? And he's right in front of you, looking you up and down. I'm looking him up and down. Jesus. He's so close. Wow. You really are adorable. Thank you. Oh, you're so pretty. I was such a crush. Well, I already knew that. I've been watching you from the very beginning. I love your reactions. Oh, thanks. I suppose I can understand Nola on this one. You're addictive. Father steps back from you, his attention shifting to himself. Oh my god, he's so tall. He doesn't fit in the thing. I really like this form. I really like this form too. You look great. I like the boob window. Did you know they made it for me and let me use it? It's a design my dear Cinco created. I'll have to thank Cinco when I see her. Well, I have something to give you, but let's play a game first. I hid the answer on the web in a place used to write and upload stories about your favorite series. Tell me, Yinny, what's the secret word? If you read the story I wrote, I suppose you already know what it is. A story. I think it's also commonly called a fanfic. Did you put something on AO3? You haven't read it? Then I guess you can search my name in the archives. Or maybe you already know it because it leaked. Or she herself said it somewhere. Her and that big mouth of hers. Incredible. So what's the secret word? Enter their name. Well, it's time to go to AO3, guys. Alright, well, we are on this page. I'm assuming it's something to do with father. Other texts will include father. Let's see. Sort and filter. Is this it? Because that says the creator. Muse. Let's see. Until I finally found you, dear player. I won't give you a summary. You'll have to get in here and find out yourself. Let's continue. Alright, I will read this since technically it is part of the game. Look, I won't beat around the bush, both you and I know why you decided to read this tale, you little... Yeah, it would feel rather odd to begin without at least providing some context, getting to know each other a bit excessive, getting to know each other a bit over a few pages before I leave you trembling at the thought of all the things I can do to your puppet. Just imagining you reading this excites me. Even though in this format I can't see your face the way I can when the game is running. Well then, unfortunately I don't have anything akin to what you call a home. I have no need for a bed or a dining room to satisfy the needs of a fleshy body. All I do on this plane is manage my exquisite words. They're so small they can be held in one's hand. Here they float all around me, following and waiting for my attention, waiting to be transformed, merged, or devoured. When I consume one of them, it isn't an act of destruction, but rather a process I call renewal, where what is useful is sent to another world and what isn't is simply forgotten. I'm the only one capable of this, as no one in your plane is aware of my worlds, thus they exist in a state of non-existence, governed solely by my puppeteer. That means they can be completely obliterated. You may take one if you wish. Well, not you, but your puppet can. So I'll assume that from now your puppet is you, just for the sake of this fanfic, so as not to make things too confusing. When I pass you the sphere, you observe it carefully. It weighs like a marble, yet is as large as a basketball. It's beautiful if you focus your eyes on its interior. You'll see the words and drawings that form and vanish in the eternal dance. These are my worlds. I have so many of these spheres, these worlds, that sometimes I feel overwhelmed, as I must present them all simultaneously, given my omnipresent nature. Though I have my favorites. One of them is where Nulla now resides. The more you watch, the more details you notice. For example, every time a delicate touch of your fingertips disturb it, a ripple much like the one produced when you touch water travels across the entire sphere, changing its colors along the way. I feel my descriptions fall short, and I wish I had another medium to show you what I meant. But for now, I'll settle for words. I trust that doesn't bother you, does it? You must be accustomed by now. The very fact that you found this fanfic is proof of how well versed you are in this matter. You should at least be capable of turning words into a vivid mental image, or at the very least enjoying them enough to keep reading what now resembles more like a monologue meant solely for your eyes. Many can read, but transforming words into mental images or deeper meanings is truly extraordinary. After all, the brain processes information in its own way. Not being able to do so doesn't make you any less cherished in my eyes. The mere fact that you're here is something I should be proud of my charms that have taken effect. Alright, if you are not repulsed by this, then you are the chosen one. I wouldn't want to share these pages with someone who wouldn't accept me for who I am, a remarkable individual brimming with vitality and above all superior to Nulla in every conceivable way. I'm someone perseverant who has always had everything. Yet only now do I realize I never truly had it all. Not until now. And I believe that with a little time your eyes are spent in my words. I see how important and addictive this connection is. I think your eyes have now become one of my most treasured possessions. Fleeting as they are, something I desire with all my heart. I know the result of my work is temporary, consumable, that your eyes will devour my words for the duration of this reading, only for you to move on to something else or perhaps read another story featuring different characters written by some creator who neither makes an appearance in the story nor feels the need to make themselves known as I do now. And I'm not talking about my puppeteer, of course. No, this time it's me. Father, I know you read to pass the time and enjoy immersing yourself in other worlds. You read countless works that have nothing to do with the game, and you probably have another favorite kind right now. And my work is nothing more than a fleeting pleasure. That is true, I have been reading a lot of Friday, but don't worry, I'm not jealous. In fact, I love that you explore all kinds of works, as I doubt you'll encounter anything as peculiar as mine. Or even someone like me, I am unique just as you are unique. So I encourage you to continue reading all sorts of works in hopes that you might find somewhat like me. Though never identical, not with my context, my manner of speaking, or my peculiar traits. And I too will seek out more readers, encountering many like you yet none exactly alike. For you are unique just as I am. I can't say you're my favorite, as we haven't known each other long, but I assure you your reactions and your gaze differ greatly from those others have given me. How I wish to be inside your computer's code to access that text document and write to you directly as Nala once did. Being within your computer, unlike being published here, offers the privacy of my words. Here, everyone can read me. I swear. I will find a solution for that, but first I need you to stay with me. Right now we're forming a bond, slowly building. Both of us connected through your beautiful eyes, both reader and creator. Yandere and Musai. There we go. Yay, we got his name. Did you really think I'd write that? Wait, what? If so, you're insane. I know I probably shattered your immersion by now, but I couldn't help but sneaking in that joke. Oh, you mean the your name thing? Of all the ways to refer to you, why choose the most crass and ugly one? No, even though I don't know your name, for now I want to address you with affection and respect. I think sweetheart is a good option for now. Do you like it, sweetheart? Well, sweetheart, now you have a little piece of me that not everyone will get to know. Only a few chosen ones will know my name and feel honored to have this tidbit since you won't see it in game. There's simply no need to include it here, alright? But we create something together. I'll take care of the creative process and you'll grant me permission to manifest it within your memories, making it real. Then I'll bestow a surprise on my puppeteer finally deigns to reveal Act 3 or maybe even sooner. It has to be something small. Something that doesn't cause too much disruption in the garden. Something that can appear in all the timelines, something that isn't harmful to the narrative or to your puppet. Ah, I know. I believe you humans really love these things. Well then, I step behind you and extend my arm with this unscathed hand. Now extend your hands too and let me place my hand over yours while your eyes remain fixed on my words. The extra hands I have perform a series of intricate signs and signals that even if I explained them, you wouldn't grasp due to the complexity of the process behind it. In your palms, you feel a tingling that travels up your arm, culminating in a warmth that wraps you in a pleasurable sensation. Wow! That's exactly how you should feel. That's exactly how the creative process ought to be, something enjoyable. I believe many creators lose sight of that along the way, succumbing to external pressures and forgetting what first drove them to create, forgetting their muses. That is true. That's beside the point. I need to focus. From your palms, something small begins to form, a stem that materializes until it creates a flower. It's a rose still without color. When you blink, the rose starts to tint from its stem. A pale green hue travels along its length. I'll travel along your length until it reaches the petals. Each petal, from the center outwards, take on a shade of blue. It's a blue rose, something impossible to find in nature, both in your world and in the garden. I would love for you to see it right now at this moment, but you'll have to wait. This will be my gift to you, my dear spectator. When the time comes, you'll get to see it. I'll appear at some point within your little game and ask for a secret word. A key. Only you who have accompanied me through this creation process will know it. After all, you have been, and always will be, the owner of this beautiful rose, a symbol that we can create together. All you have to do is write something. You'll have to say and write my name in the text box where one of my eyes decides to show, and then I'll give you our rose, and you'll be able to admire it in all its splendor. A gift from me to you, sweetheart. Well, alright, so we read through Father's fanfic that he left for us, and we know his name is now Musai. Oh, it's the rose! Good. Here it is, with all my love. I would love to take all your love. I mean, what? Musai hands you a blue rose. It's so beautiful. You were supposed to help me make this. We both did it as collaborators, or who knows, maybe as lovers. Yeah, as lovers. Ew, thank you. Oh, the heart. Oh, I'm so happy to know you liked it. I like you as well too. Are you single? Oh my god, you're so pretty. I was thinking about spending some time together. Oh, I'll do anything you want me to. Taking a break and just talking. But I'm running out of time. So we'll continue this date in the next act. See you. Goodbye, father. You fall again. And during the fall, you're stripped of the body that was lent to you. It seems it was only temporary. What a shame. For a second, your vision turns black. You see nothing, but that helps you remember what the hell you were doing before coming here. You're in the garden with Septem when a spider changed your plans. What a butterfly effect. Well, we're back here. Well, that was weird. I mean, I'm just happy we met father. He's so pretty. You look at Septem and feel it instantly. Something's bothering him. Something that's been gnawing at him since he gave you the hands and the eye. And that discomfort has only grown. But it isn't about your constant presence. It's something else. Is something wrong? Yes, I think I made a mistake. Now that I have you with me, I understand your puppet a little better. At the same time, I'd like you to exist outside of me so you could have your own role. A bit more freedom. Immersion. With me, you're bound to me at all times. You don't have a body of your own to represent you. At least with your puppet, it was easier to achieve that immersion. That was its purpose, no context, no story behind it. Something hollow, ready to be inhabited by you. But at the same time, it had clear fixations and desires, with clear ideas and emotions that weren't your own. Nothing objective. Septem hesitates, unsure whether to tell you what's really bothering him. And something about Nola. Ashamed of his inability to choose his words well, he tries to filter his concern. Even with the name you gave it, one that might be yours, or maybe one you made up. Is Yinny the name you used for yourself? Or is it just a name you gave the puppet with nothing to do with you? And does he want to know your real name? Oh, it's a name that represents me. Good. I'd like to call you properly. Names are important here, and yours is no exception. Okay, I'll keep calling you Yinny. You can also call me other things, like baby girl. Yinny, I think we should take this as a new beginning. Just like how I'll take you. I want you as my companion. I think enough time has passed to decide whether you're fit for the role or not. You stayed this long after all. I've been thinking, and I believe when you were connected to the puppet, I gave you the worst impression possible. I apologize if I offended you, but to me, the puppet was never mine. It's not a subject nor an entity of the garden I'm meant to protect. The puppet was a link between you and Nola. It was never to my liking, and seeing it there with that face and that human scent, it was difficult to resist the temptation to break it. You feel Septem flinch slightly as he recalls the scent and color of blood. Septem exhales, holding himself back from saying too much, before curling his lips into a sideways smile. But now that thing is gone. Now it's just you and me, and I'll do everything I can to give you a complete body, not just hands and an eye. And then we can finagle after, right? Septem glances at your hands for a moment and clenches his jaw. I want to show you something, but I need you to take it seriously. The place is not a game. Okay. Septem clasps both hands together and recites a few words in Latin. When his chant ends, both of you are transported to a pure place stained only by your presence. Coming here always calms me. He says it into the air, not expecting a reply. Then, Septem gestures with his hands. A sphere, the size of a ball, begins to rise from the ground, levitating until it hovers before your eyes. Then another appears, and another, until 8 spheres surround the space you share with Septem. You may touch them if you wish. Ooh, I get to touch balls? How about this one? This one is Kotor. It's one of the most beautiful domains. In the sphere there are 2 8-pointed stars. Kinke needs help, which is why Tria spends most of her time there. Every time I visit, I see him healing some animal. Tria's curse won't stop. What's this one? There's only 1 star in the sphere. It doesn't shine as brightly as the others and the pulse is slow. It looks terrible. And Septem says nothing, just stares at it in silence, his expression on the verge of breaking apart. It's sorrow. I wonder whose that one is. It's a dead domain. There's not much left of it. And Tria can't do anything until the garden heals. We've talked, and after much searching, Tria came to the conclusion that the curse is self-inflicted. It will remain until she heals. What curse? Septem watches you in silence before answering. Every fruit born from the garden carries poison and belongs to Tria. They can't be eaten unless you break their seal. You feel a bit of sorrow for her situation. You assume she can't control her grief or anger, so her emotional state shapes her domain this way. How complicated. Now you see the garden doesn't have a single problem. Rather, it's a web of many things intertwined and affecting everything from the smallest to the grandest scale. The garden feels like a sick body, its vital parts doing all they can to keep it alive. Ellie, but that defense isn't enough. The garden needs help from an external agent, a medicine. A pill that grants it just enough of what they need to resume its function. What about this one? That's the sun's domain, Unum. Unum is currently at the residence of his wives. Septem points towards the red 8-pointed star, beside 3 smaller ones, the rest. Septem moves his fingers across the other scars scattered throughout the sphere. There are many. They are his subjects. I thought the rest were also just his wives. Here resides Due. She's always working, training her stars. There she is. Septem guides your hand with his, leading it towards Due. You realize she's the largest 8-pointed star in the area. It's one of the few domains that hasn't shown any signs of trouble, all thanks to her. This is Septem's domain. If you look closely, there's no trace of subjects anywhere. Only your soul and Septem's exist within this space. This is us. Oh, that's cute. Where's your puppet? He's not a subject. According to the map, he doesn't exist. According to the rules, he shouldn't be here. Septem sighs, weary. I think that's enough. Do you want to go back? Right, let's go back. Alright. Days pass and Septem slowly regains the energy he spent creating his divine body, leaving him with more power to sustain Raphael's and to do other things. With that, Septem begins to study and recreate invocations practicing on various parts of the human body. Most of them are hearts. He also has meetings with Sexton, though he never leaves his domain. During these meetings, you learn a few things you didn't know before. For example, not just any human can live in the garden. They must be created by Sexton. Otherwise, they won't survive long there. They die after 7 days. When I can remove your seal, you'll be able to return to your domain and create our humans again. Does he really think it'll be that easy? I can see the seal you have within. Once I learn how to break it, it'll be easy for you to create them again. You'll have to start slowly with wet nurses, but soon they'll regain their normal life cycle. You get natural births again after 5 to 10 years. It'll be like before. Do you think Father will return if he finds out? What if he punishes us again? That won't happen. What if the others find out it was our fault? It wasn't our fault. It was Nulla's. I share the blame too. Not just Nulla. Sexton. She doesn't stop. Even though Septem is already looking at her irritably. Are we going to have to make up another excuse like your fake child's birth to cover up the theft of the body? The what? Because as far as I know, Father left out of boredom, not because he brought a body from another world to use as a puppet. Sexton. No, Septem. Listen to me. We're exposing ourselves. Nulla could open his mouth and seal your fate. Or Father might return to impose even harsher punishments. Promise me that if we go through with this, there won't be worse consequences. If the council ever finds out, you can be sure they'll come for your head. And if Father comes back, believe me, it won't be to give you a hug. Sexton pauses to look at you before continuing. Septem, I swear, if this doesn't work, I think it'd be best to listen to Nulla. Septem lets out a short laugh, disbelieving her words. You're insane. No, Septem, if this goes wrong, it'd be better to end everything than to watch the entire garden turn against you. And since no one can hurt you, they'll find another way to make you pay. I'd really hate for you to go through that. Septem sobs. The conversation slowly fades, reaching a point where everything that needed to be said has been said. All formalities were settled. But Septem still needs to speak of one more thing. Something he hasn't even let you see, let alone confess to you. Because he probably wouldn't understand it as well as Sexton. One more thing. Sexton only watches him. Very attentive but silent. I think you need to know this. The rank I have now allows me to cause harm. Sexton opens her mouth to say something, and Septem waits, but she can't find her voice and chooses silence, avoiding his hard gaze. It's important that you know this, and if anything happens, I need you to stop me. Sexton presses her lips together, gathering the courage to answer his request. You know there's nothing I can do. I think it'd be better if you just made that request to the entity that's with you. A silence falls. The Septem understands. I must go. I'll be waiting for your news. Without another word, Sexton vanishes through the door. And just like that, you and Septem are left alone. You try to speak to Septem, but he asks for a moment alone, so you withdraw from the library. Some days you get bored. Then Septem does nothing but read and search for ways to break seals. Sometimes he reads aloud to you, but most of the time he asks for silence, insisting you observe his progress. Watching him fail is something you never tire of. Each time he fails to make or break a seal, Septem clenches his jaw so tightly his teeth grind audibly. Why do I enjoy watching him suffer? And from time to time he slams down the table, never looking your way, but he keeps trying, even when he succeeds. If he notices the slightest imperfection, he destroys it and tries again with greater effort. After about an hour, Septem finally celebrates as the seal he's been struggling to break dissolves into smoke. We did it, Yandere. Congratulations! Septem smiles faintly, feeling a small flutter in his stomach at your response, then immediately feels puzzled by his own reaction. He's becoming more human. I guess in like his approach to emotions and everything. He hasn't felt this way since Father gave him feedback after creating the symbols. You did a great job. The strange sensation in the pit of his stomach returns. I hope you're not saying that mockingly. He's not used to praise. That's so cute. Septem turns his gaze back to the table. After a brief moment of thought, he sighs. We can begin the restoration. He says it almost in disbelief. Breathless. Good. He inhales slowly before revealing what he's been thinking. We have a meeting tonight with the council and the symbols. And the council? The council are the ones who assist their respective symbols in decision-making. They'll only invite the heads of each domain. Septem stares at you, debating on whether to keep talking or stay silent. I have something to give you after the meeting. I think you deserve it. He confesses it very seriously, as if it were a secret. Yet deep within you can feel a flicker of excitement. Will I get something? Are you talking about a reward? Do you really think you deserve one? Yes? Yes. He finally says, taking your left hand. As he strokes it, well, I'll stroke him. His nails brush against your skin dangerously close to sinking in. You deserve a reward. You've done everything I've asked of you so far. His body leans into your field of view, blocking everything but him. I think giving you a body would be a good reward, don't you think? Oh, he's so pretty. Septem passes the time in the library reading to you. This time, it's children's stories written by Sextum. Before beginning, he explains that when humans still existed in the garden, Sextum used to mingle among them to find inspiration for her writing, and how he used to watch her from his domain back when he still lacked a physical body. He looks so proud as he reads, a faint smile lighting his features, giving him an almost ethereal air. His main eyes stay fixed on the pages, while the other still furtive glances at you now and then just to make sure you're still there. Septem's voice when reading aloud is sweet, extremely sweet and warm. He conveys the emotion of each story so perfectly, it's as if he's read them all before. He takes the right pauses, and uses a perfect tone for each character, never stumbling or sounding surprised by the events unfolding. As the hour of the meeting draws near, Septem's face begins to change, his main eyes narrowing, his mind drifting toward what's to come. He should be getting ready by now, but he prefers to finish at least one last story. And there comes the point where his voice stops reading the words on the page. His eyes close completely as he senses the first pair of guests entering his domain. His ethereal expression fades, his lips twisting to one side. Septem snaps the book shut and clicks his tongue. He stands and sets the storybook aside on his desk next to the papers he used to break the seals. That is all. Both you and Septem can sense more entities within the domain. It's time. The council and the symbols have already arrived, waiting for Septem to appear so the meeting can begin. They're going to ask what happened to my body sooner or later. Then he looks at you, his expression turning exasperated. They'll ask about you and why you're like this. How I hate them. With a final sigh, Septem fixes his hair and with a single gesture teleports both of you to the meeting hall. Oh, suddenly I am very intimidated. Also, I like how it looks like Unum is asleep. Countless eyes fall upon you both. Good evening to everyone present. I appreciate your attendance. Septem steps forward. The silence in the room is absolute and heavy. All the council's entities stare at Septem with disgust, barely hidden behind horror. The symbols, on the other hand, watch him quietly, waiting for him to speak. One of the council members loses composure and speaks without being given permission. Where's the entity beside you? That's not the crick. Shut your mouth. I haven't given you permission to speak. Insolent. The entity grimaces in pain and Septem lets out a dry laugh. As you can see, I've changed. And with that change, I've decided to share this garden with one who truly sees us. We can no longer keep waiting for father. Some members of the council whisper anxiously to their symbols. I have obtained an absolute rank thanks to our new savior, and with it, I now have the power to destroy and erase every curse that was placed upon us. To anyone who disagrees with this change of command, I cordially invite you to step down. This garden was forgotten by Father, the one who has abandoned us. Starting today, a new era begins. Entire domains will be restructured to prevent a second downfall. You will no longer answer to an absent creator. You will answer to Yinny, and to me. Ooh, it's like we're a couple just ruling the universe together. Septem glides to his chair and sits down with a grace that grows with every movement. Once settled, he clasps his hands together and studies his audience. Does anyone have any questions? The same entity that was forced to be silent urgently raises their hand. Go ahead. Septem grants them permission. As soon as their speech is restored, their lips part. And what if we refuse? What if this new master fails to meet the symbols of the previous one? They look around, searching for support. Are you really replacing the creator so easily for some nobody? They can't even manifest a proper body and they use you instead. Please, what kind of power are we even talking about? The air thickens. Septem's eyes narrow, his hand rising in a clear omen of reprisal. I'll let him handle it. Gazing coldly at the entity, he snaps his fingers. Oh! A liquid begins to pour from the entity's mouth, and Septem's heart begins to beat at a concerning pace. He realizes, perhaps for the first time, that he has truly harmed one of his own. But remorse does not come immediately. Everyone at the table reacts with horror, even the symbols, everyone except one. Sextum, on the other hand, presses her lips together and shrinks back, lowering her gaze. Disappointed. There have already been 2 offenses. Next time, it won't be only your tongue that I tear out. Andromeda! Due's tone is a mix of fear and reproach. Yet she doesn't dare move a single muscle. While Andromeda clutches both hands over their mouth and jaw, Unum rises from his seat, leaning on the table to watch with morbid curiosity as the entity Andromeda spits out what appears to be blood. Holy shit, Septem. Since when can you do that? Amazing. His eyes widen, as though an idea once deemed impossible had overnight become reality. Can we fight? Please? Please, please. Sit down. I don't want to hear any nonsense right now. Unum's body collapses abruptly into a seat just as Due rises from hers and bows her head. Your Holiness Septem. Septem raises his hand, cutting Due's speech short. Enough, Due. It's not your fault that your advisor doesn't know how to show respect. Now sit down. Does anyone else have any questions? Several hands rise, waiting for Septem to grant them the floor. Before giving anyone permission to speak, the blonde glances at you sideways. Now we move on to logistics. There's no need for you to listen to all this. When the last of the council attendees leave the domain, Septem searches for your eye. When he finds it with his gaze, he smiles and calls you over with a sultry, husky tone. Ooh! He takes your hand in his and softly says, I believe you've earned your reward. Come with me. He doesn't make you wait, transporting you both to the pure zone. A body. An identity. Both things go hand in hand, don't you think? That's right. If I gave you a new body and decorated it myself, leaving you no room to make any changes, would you allow that? No. Very well. That's how I like it. Well, it doesn't matter. The body I'll make for you will also be a gift. One you'll be able to shape however you wish. I'll give you a blank canvas. And you'll shape it to your liking, my dear little creator. Septem takes the pieces that comprise you in the palm of his hands. With slow, delicate motions, he carefully fuses them together. You lose sight for a few seconds, but your other senses multiply and dance together, coordinated down to the smallest detail. Sounds intertwine with the heat and chill of the space where you now are. The sensation of being, existing, is comforting, and it grows stronger with each passing second. First your legs, then your arms, followed by the head. You branch into a humanoid form without restriction. It's an unhurried creation with Septem guiding you by the hand. He guides you yet allows you to make the necessary adjustments along the way. The sensation of life grows stronger. The slick touch of organs expanding and contracting calls you to crave more. Touch emerges gradually. It's a pleasant tingling, born from Septem's fingers gliding over your forming shape. Oh my god, look at him! Oh, he's so pretty. I love him. Your legs catch the gentle breeze, and your freshly formed cheeks feel Septem's hot breath. Your body awakens through the 10 flames that burn but do not harm. His hands travel all over your fully formed body. Whoa! Touching and igniting everything in their path. It's not a lustful or perverse touch. It's a touch that gives life to your form and gradually allows it to thrum with breath. Oh, like the kiss of life you've always been waiting for. A body entirely your own. Yours, and no one else's. Something you can call yourself. Beautiful. Oh, thank you. Is this the part where we kiss now? Your body isn't just an avatar. It's the purest expression of you within this domain. You're perfect. Septem caresses your cheek with his thumb. You and Septem spend the day resting outside the temple. Tomorrow will be the day Septem's seal is broken. Tomorrow will be busy, but not today. Today, Septem will rest beside you. This feels good. Septem is lost in thought and not particularly open to conversation. When you grow tired of watching the scenery, you place your hand on Septem's shoulder, getting his attention. He turns his head and reveals a fragment of what's been gnawing at his mind. Now that you have a body, Nala could appear and steal you away. I've seen what he's capable of. I've seen it within the lines of the code. I don't have access to all of it, but I do have access to what you've already played. Ooh, do you know about Nala's plan? Now I've confirmed it. That's exactly why it's dangerous for us to go out. Does that mean there won't be any more bad ends? Do you want one? No. Septem has tried to suppress that side of himself now that he has direct access to you. But flesh is weak and desire has grown stronger than reason. Just this once. It doesn't matter, it won't hurt you. And for the first time he can admit that he misses you when you had the old puppet. The one that was never truly a reflection of them. The one that felt and cried, that would have given everything for you. Septem takes a breath trying to calm himself. No, not now. He can't lose control now. After all, it's you. And he has no wish to offend your possessions for a fleeting desire. Unless you wish otherwise. He could try one more time. Just once more. Are you sure? I can give you one. After all, you return here with me. Septem smiles with a hint of complicity. You just want to hurt me. He wants to see it too. I don't want to. I understand. I won't ask again. Forgive me. Eventually, Septem tells you. We'll go back and say yes after this. Eventually, Septem tells you that you should rest. After all, your body still carries mortal needs. Eating and drinking and sleeping. You still need all of it. The only difference is you cannot die. Tomorrow I'll wake you so we can begin our tasks. I'll introduce you to the entire garden. As a new master and the ruler of these lands, ooh, our savior. End of Act 2.5. In development. You have to wait a bit to find out how this ends. That's so interesting. Let's go back though. Let's start from here. Do you know about the others' routes? That's right. I can't access all the information, but yes. It doesn't hurt as much now because you're here with me. And I'll make sure you stay on this timeline at the end. It's not a promise, it's a fact. Does that mean there won't be any more bad ends? Do you want one? No. Are you sure? Okay. The world dissolves into a terrifying pure white. You appear in an area with no borders or floor, only you and him occupy the space. Oh, Septem approaches with a calmness that makes you uneasy. You can't help but recall past experiences, and with 2 fingers he takes a hold of your jaw. This would be hot if you weren't about to kill me. At first his touch is delicate. But little by little he starts to squeeze, his eyes fixed on how your skin warps under the pressure. You're interesting. His face leans in close to your ear, the heat of his breath makes you shiver. Ah, how I miss doing this. For a moment you think he's gonna kiss your neck, but his hand clamps down and lifts you effortlessly instead. You hang suspended, fingers pressing right where the air should pass but now it can't. He watches you as you choke, his smile wide and his eyes full of euphoria. I think giving you nerve endings in a divine body pretending to be immortal was my best idea, don't you agree? Your body trembles. A muffled moan escapes your lips, making Septem let out a low drawn-out laugh. His other hand slides down to your thigh, gripping it tightly, his nails sinking in and tearing through any skin they find. I think I've grown bored of playing with your hands. What if I try a leg instead? I could tear it off. Or break it. There'd be so much blood. Suddenly he lets you go. Oh my god, this angle? Hi. Wow. That's like right there. You collapse on your back. You cough and gasp for air, trying to steady yourself, but he's already on top of you again. Maybe I shouldn't be so excited about this? Did you know there's an artery in your thigh called the femoral? If I cut it, you'll bleed to death in minutes. But you wouldn't die immediately. His voice softens. I could cut you and watch as it happens, or... He raises a hand without touching you, brings it closer to your chest. I could simply take your heart and taste it right here. Hasn't even touched you yet you feel it. Fingers sliding through your ribs, curling around your lungs to find your heart. It would be more intimate that way, don't you think? Septem stops right there. He watches you closely as if waiting for you to cry or beg. As if he longed to hear you say no, because then he could mock you, call you a coward. His smile curves sweetly. Will you give me your heart? After all, I'm the one who built it. It belongs to me. No, I don't want this anymore. Septem smirks as if he's already expected that reaction from you. Okay, that's all then. Septem tries to steady his breathing as he stands up and offers you a hand. He waits for you to take it. I enjoyed it. Thank you. Septem, you freak! Eventually, Septem tells you that you should rest. After all, your body still carries mortal needs. Eating, drinking, and sleeping. You still need all of it. The only difference is you cannot die. Tomorrow I'll wake you up so we can begin our tasks. I'll introduce you to the entire garden as a new master and ruler of these lands. Our savior. Well, this is just the same as the other ending from here on out. So we're gonna go back. We'll tell him yes, and we'll give him our heart. Septem doesn't rush. Oh my god though. Oh my god though. He's like shrugged off his cloak. Look at it. Ooh, there's something like so attractive about seeing Septem's arms. You know how it's like catching a glimpse of like a Victorian ankle? This is what it feels like. His fingers pierce through your chest, breaking skin and bone. Ribs part effortlessly to let his hands through. The pain comes quickly, but what you feel most is the pressure. Strong and invasive, bordering on pleasurable. His eyes don't leave yours for a second. Your heart is beating so fast. Is it because of me? Yeah. He pulls it out slowly, still beating, and he gazes at it in fascination before bringing it to his lips. He gives a gentle kiss, chaste, as if it was something sacred, and then licks it and bites it, unashamed of the mess and unbothered by how grotesque it looks. And just as you're about to leave this world, Septem leans in and kisses you too on the lips. Whoa! I mean, I'm all for it. I'm all for like the gory kissing, I guess. Septem's just a freak, like me. A soft, innocent touch. And you wake up. Everything is as before. Your body intact, your heart back where it belongs. But Septem looks different. Ecstatic. Well, and there we have it. That is Septem's route. There are a couple of things I want to test though. Mainly trying to go back and see what that little symbol does in the corner for Septem. We need to do the take me to your route option. Alright, here we are. Take me to your route. You and Septem spend the day resting outside the temple. Oh, okay, so it just takes you back here. But yeah, just the conversation before. And then it leads us up to here. Okay, let's do a couple of little extra choices before we wrap it up. I'm back here with Helloyinny, where he asks, are you the one responsible for this? This time I'll say yes. He inspects you for a few more seconds, measuring your sincerity. Then his expression shifts. Now he looks at you with interest. Pupils dilate and his eyes half-lidded, paired with a confident smile. Almost as if he secretly desired you. I sure hope he desires me, because I desire him. Look at him. I want to stroke his wings. Your soul radiates an exquisite light that's trapped within that eye. Perhaps if I... Tell me, where is your body? Can you explain? Summarizing everything that happened so far, he listens carefully, encouraging you to continue. With such active listening, you fall head over heels. Of course I do. Now let's move forward a bit. Let's ask about his wings this time. Your wings. Your companion frowns but instantly regains composure, then fixes his gaze on you. I paid the price for protecting humans. But it is his will and I am his servant. He says it solemnly. My turn. If I understood correctly, you have the ability to travel through time or something like that, right? To travel between timelines. To alter the past or the future. Tell me, is that what you can do? No, perhaps you just haven't realized it yet. Well, and then he gets grabbed away. And then we see Father. Okay, let's see what happens if we just leave this time. Leave. Okay. Your loss. You return to the garden with Septem. You're not allowed to mention anything that happened here. Not that I give you the option to do so anyway. You look at Septem and feel it instantly. But yeah, you just return back here and this is the other conversation we have. So, let's keep going. Okay, I am now here. This time instead of saying congrats, we'll say we have, in response to him breaking the seal. Of course. You're a vital part of this process. This is an achievement for both of us. Septem nods and looks at you with conviction. We've done this together. And then I have moved forward to the council meeting. So last time I let Septem handle it. This time I'm gonna say Septem, punish them. Gazing coldly at the entity, he snaps his fingers. Liquid begins to pour from the entity's mouth. Okay, so this is just the same. Yeah, so getting Septem to punish them results in the same conversation path as before. So what if we tell him to stop? Septem, stop! Septem stops. For a moment he seems to consider your words. Septem doesn't even look at you. Please, don't tell me what to do. They've insulted you, Yinny. I won't let it go. Gazing coldly at the entity, he snaps his fingers. So he doesn't stop, but he does act incredibly hot. Oh, that was all the variations for Septem. And that is my full Act 2.5 playthrough of To Eat a God for Unum and Septem's routes. I hope you guys enjoyed this as much as I did. I had so much fun. If you guys haven't seen Nulla's part yet, I posted that yesterday. I posted that the day before I posted this video, and I've also linked that in the description box below. And if you haven't seen Act 1 or 2, I have done playthroughs of them during their releases, so they are also linked in the description box below and also in the pinned comment as well. But thank you so much for playing this with me. I had so much fun. It's so interesting to find out more about the characters. I feel like Unum's route, let's start with Unum first. It's getting sad because like our child, especially like Noor, is really suffering. And there seems to be like a divide that's being pushed between him and Shams, and I don't know why or what Septem's motive is in that one. But it's so sad that how he hurt us, and he's just so regretful and apologetic and scared about it, and there's nothing we can really do to help because, you know, we are just a mere puppet in the face of like entities that are much more powerful than us. But I'm very interested to know what Septem's plan is in that particular route and why he's doing what he is with our children. What do him and Unum talk about in their meetings? I think like it's very sad that in that particular route, Unum's hands are just tied. He knows that something isn't right, that something is wrong, something is being done that he doesn't want, and there's nothing he can really do about it, and I think that's incredibly sad. I'm interested to see how it plays out and how it's going to ramp up from here and what's going to happen with our twins, because I think it's going to culminate into something quite scary. And I think in that one, it's also interesting how in Unum and Nulla's route, Septem is very much portrayed as the like antagonist, which obviously like narratively makes sense. But I feel like once you get to know him in his own route, he's a much more complicated person than he portrays himself to be. Because when we don't explore his route, you get the idea that he's sadistic, awful, horrible. But if you like explore it, you meet Raphael, you meet all these little tidbits, you find the notes about him, and just like get the little quirks that he displays. It feels like at his core is someone who is very sad and feels incredibly abandoned by the father, by the creator. And there's almost like a very incredibly palpable sense of loneliness that radiates from Septem that I find really interesting. Because once you essentially become his by shedding your previous puppet form and being with him as his companion, he's a lot happier and he almost begins to change. He starts to like smile, feel positive emotions. Like you guys even have a little bake session together and he defends you and protects you against the council members. So I think that in a way, not only do we find out more about Septem's machinations and what his end goal and what his desires are, I feel like we're also in a way changing him for the better by making him feel. I know, it's really nice. Obviously his nature isn't entirely changed because he still wanted to, you know, hurt us at the end without consent. At least he listens now. But like, I think he's made a lot of progress in his route. And like since he's been with us. I do want to find out about Raphael though. I'm very interested about that and very keen. Interestingly enough, the scene with Father was so cool. I want to figure out who Hadarel is. Does Hadarel have a bigger part in Act 3? Because Hadarel isn't part of like the To Eat a God pantheon, because Hadarel is an angel that is from God as an our God in this world, which is worshipped in many religions, but he commonly shows up with the name Yahweh. So it's very interesting how our real life religion has bled into this game, and also Hadarel showing up as an entity. If there's gonna be anything that is going to happen, or was that just like a cool little Easter egg? Because that was very interesting, and Hadarel was gorgeous. I loved him. I do want to find out more about Father, also Mother as well, that we see in Nulla's route. And once again, flashing back to Nulla's video that we talked about yesterday, Nier, I'm very keen to see what happens there as well. Yeah, this was phenomenal. I love this game so much. I cannot wait for Act 3, and I will be playing it so fast because I cannot control myself. Thank you so much for playing this with me. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. If you have any theories about the game, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you guys. And you also, if you would like to support Sophie, who is the developer of this game, head over to itch.io and leave a lovely comment and a 5-star review just to give us some encouragement as she works on this. And additionally, if you would like to support my channel, my Patreon is linked in the description box below. Supporting it monetarily is absolutely not mandatory, but very, very appreciated. So yeah, but that's all for now. And until the next gorgeous fictional man, take care.